at his new job. He's a little nervous. We get it. But something here feels different. Something feels better. There's excitement everywhere. There's enthusiasm. There's a sense of camaraderie. Alex wonders what's going on. What's going on is that Alorica is a different kind of company. One that makes a commitment to its people first. One that was built around a single vision, to make lives better, one interaction at a time. This isn't just a people business. It's a people-to-people business. And if we want our team to make meaningful connections with others across the globe, they first need to be respected, understood, and empowered. So we encourage all our employees to grow, to pursue new ideas and interests, and above all, to become the people they want to be. People with passion, people dedicated to performance and to embracing all kinds of possibilities, and people that will help us to make a difference for our colleagues, our clients, our customers, and our communities. Alex doesn't know it yet, but he's going to be a big part of that difference. And hey, look, he's starting a softball team, making connections already. We love that. Engaged, energized, and ready to deliver insanely great experiences. That's what we're all about. And we get there by doing something incredibly revolutionary, yet painfully simple. We treat our people like people. Passion, performance, possibilities. Alorica.
When the world seemed to stop, we carry on, continue to dream and create. We don't just work with what we know. We innovate to adapt, so you can drive your career forward. We don't just make you feel welcome. We provide everyone an equal opportunity to succeed. We don't stop at just enough. We go extra to care and provide, so you can brave the world safely. Times aren't the same, but we've always been different. We are Concentrix. We dream different. We create different. We embrace different.
There are 3 easy steps in creating a resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes, and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Welcome to the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, the country's first Polytechnic U. PUP is a state-run university governed by Republic Act 8292, known as the Higher Education Modernization Act of 1997, and its implementing rules and regulations contained in the Commission on Higher Education Memorandum Circular No. 4, Series of 1997. It is home to more than 70,000 students, making it the largest state university in the Philippines in terms of student population. It is the university's commitment to give qualified and talented students access to quality and responsive education to aid them in the achievement of their dreams and the improvement of their lives. True to its commitment of making education accessible to all, the university has strategically established campuses and branches all over Luzon. PUP boasts of its roster of 1,483 full-time and part-time faculty members and 707 administrative employees. The faculty and employees perform the collective goal of training, servicing, and supporting the university's stakeholders. From its humble beginnings in 1904, PUP was originally established as the Manila Business School, primarily for the training of personnel for government service and to provide skills needed for private employment. 4 years later, the Manila Business School was renamed Philippine School of Commerce, or PSC, and merged with the Philippine Normal School from 1933 to 1946. Through the virtue of Republic Act 778, PSC was renamed the Philippine College of Commerce, or PCC, in 1952. In April 1, 1978, PCC was converted into a chartered state university now known as the Polytechnic University of the Philippines by virtue of Presidential Decree No. 1341 issued by the President of the Republic of the Philippines. PUP truly has come a long way from a business school to a premier polytechnic university, the very first in the country. Every year, around 50,000 graduating high school students, mostly from economically challenged families, take the Polytechnic University of the Philippines College Entrance Test or PUBSET and hope to become one of the 10,000 who will be given a chance to be new PUPNs. At present, the university offers more than 80 programs in the graduate and undergraduate levels with its strategic direction of making the colleges vertically articulated. Graduate School, College of Accountancy and Finance, College of Arts and Letters, College of Architecture and Fine Arts, College of Business Administration, College of Communication, College of Computer and Information Sciences, College of Education, College of Engineering, College of Law, College of Political Science and Public Administration, College of Social Sciences and Development, College of Science, College of Tourism, Hospitality and Transportation Management, College of Human Kinetics, Institute of Technology. PUP further strengthens its open university system through expanded tertiary education equivalency and accreditation program and the non-traditional system program. It caters to borderless educational system that aims to reach many learners as possible. For more than a century of existence, countless outstanding achievements have raised PUP to the level of a national comprehensive university. With the vision to transform the university into an epistemic community, PUP subscribes to the idea that a university should have an extensive research and extension development culture. Proof to this are numerous research undertakings of the university. Each year, PUP surpasses national passing rate in licensure examinations and ranks among the top in different academic disciplines. Has also institutionalized academic exchange and international cooperation with various countries all over the world through its Office of International Affairs. Today, PUP is relishing its successes. Its students are enjoying unprecedented academic opportunities, an enhanced campus environment, upgraded colleges, state-of-the-art technology, and nationally and internationally recognized programs. It has gone far from what it was more than a century ago. This is mainly due to the support given by the government, the PUP community, and its benefactors. With the combined efforts, PUP will continue to be a partner in nation building and in poverty alleviation for the marginalized sector of the society with quality, responsive, and relevant education as a tool. PUP, the country's first polytechnic youth.
Allow me to share with you my vision for the university. I envision PUP to become the pioneering and leading national polytechnic university in the 21st century. With a national polytechnic university status, it will bring more opportunities for the university to further strengthen its academic programs and improve organizational performance as an institution for higher education. In pursuit for this vision, my mission for PUP is for it to recognize its catalytic role for national development. PUP will ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities through a re-engineered polytechnic education. By re-engineering, we look into the existing processes and programs in order to achieve higher quality of academic programs and services following the principles of effectiveness and efficiency. With this mission in mind, I have formulated 10 pillars as my reform agenda for the university. Pillar 1. Dynamic, transformational, and responsible leadership. Empower academic and administrative leaders by following the core principles of good governance to create collective growth and unity. Here I would like to highlight an innovation by introducing the development of an integrity management plan to assess, plan, and implement anti-corruption strategies that will secure the institution against corruption and abuse. Likewise, asset management and resource generation will be aggressively pursued to ensure productivity and finance the implementation of the plans and projects for the university. Pillar 2. Responsive and innovative curricula and instruction. We aim to provide world-class polytechnic education that responds to national and global needs by developing intellectually challenging curricula and design academic programs that are based on industry demands to provide the learners with adequate and relevant competencies and skills and prepare them for a successful and rewarding careers. In a rapidly changing world, we recognize the paradigm shift in curriculum to outcome-based education with lifelong learning approach. Pillar 2 also sits on the framework of internationalization of Philippine higher education through transnational education by promoting academic mobility among faculty and students and global dimension into the curricula and teaching process. Pillar 3. Enabling and productive learning environment. Following education in Industry 4.0, we aim to increase and enhance the use of new technology to enable student learning and engagement, as well as advanced teaching process and methodology through new and state-of-the-art facilities that will support the overall learning and teaching experience in the university. Pillar 3 likewise includes campus development and the provision of conducive learning centers and facilities for students and faculty. Pillar 4. Holistic student development and engagement. We will empower students as well as rounded learners and active young leaders as we open opportunities for various academic mobility and venues for honing skills and personal development, being the principal stakeholder of the university. Recognize academic freedom as a form of self-expression and a platform to showcase students' intellect, skills, and creativity. Pillar 5. Empowered faculty members and employees. Likewise, we are looking into the holistic development of our faculty and employees as productive, competent, and experts in their respective fields. We will encourage our faculty roster through formal education, capacity building, research and extension initiatives, faculty immersion, and other academic engagements, both local and abroad. We will ensure that both our faculty and employees will have a vibrant career development path as public servants in this state university. Pillar 6. Vigorous research production and utilization. We will continue to strengthen the research culture in the university by promoting discovery and innovation through increasing disciplinary and collaborative research integration across academic disciplines to create new knowledge, utilize research findings, and develop innovative products. Pillar 7. Global academic standards and excellence. Achieve the highest levels of recognition in quality and compliance standards from CHED, AACUP, and other international accrediting and regulatory bodies for higher education. We will intensify our efforts to achieve and sustain better academic performance and continue to excel as a top-performing school in various professional licensure examinations and produce board top-notchers, as well as sustain our status of being the most preferred graduates of employers. Likewise, we aim to establish and to be recognized as centers of development and excellence in our academic programs. Pillar 8. Synergistic, productive strategic networks and partnerships. Synergize and forge strategic linkages and partnerships across all sectors of society and the global community in line with the overall plans and programs of the university. Establish alliance with the government, industry sector, NGOs, and the academe will lead to resource sharing, program support, and research collaborations beneficial for all. Pillar 9. Active and sustained stakeholders engagement. Harness a healthy and harmonious organization by empowering all its stakeholders, both internal and external, through open communication networks, consultative and participative undertakings, and team-building activities, recognizing that all stakeholders can greatly contribute towards the betterment of the university. Pillar 10. Sustainable social development programs and projects. Expand access to education, knowledge building, and information dissemination through sharing of expertise and resources for community development. Support inclusivity approach in education by embarking on Education on Wheels, which aims to bring access to education closer to communities, following the principle of no one will be left behind. As the University of the People, we should bring the university closer to their hearts to serve their needs and extend assistance in mainstreaming public service. Our institution must continue to stand as one for the values that we have inculcated. For the past 115 years, we have exemplified our quest for truth, excellence, equity, relevance, effectiveness, integrity, and academic freedom. Lastly, I call upon each and everyone to join me in this journey. Together we stand as one para sa sintang paaralan para sa ating bayan.
Uy! Nandito na pala sila! Hi guys! Magandang araw mga schoolmates! Dahil dito na muli ang lahat ng dapat yung malaman tungkol sa pamantasan. Ako si Jello.
Lahat ng in, lahat ng hit, lahat ng trendy. Ako naman si Mary Rose.
At ito ang inyong online tambayan. Ako naman si Enrique. At ito ang PUP TV, pinakausapan sa pamantasan. Guys, wala ba kayong napapansin? Wala si Kesa! Ano? Pero bukod doon, hindi Hindi nyo ba nararamdaman na per months na?
O ano? At ilang tulog na lang, malapit na magpasko, di ba?
Tama.
At ipagdiriwang na natin ngayong October ang anniversary ng ating sitang paaralan.
Tama. Pero alam niyo ba kung kailan eksaktong ipinagdiriwang ang founding anniversary ng ating sintang paaralan? Ngayong first week of October.
Sabi ko na sa iyo eh. Talaga namang nakaka-proud ang maging isang PUP yan, di ba?
Oo naman, kasi bukod sa tayo ang may pinakamababang tuition fee dito sa buong Pilipinas, tayo din ang kauna-unahang Polytechnic University sa buong bansa.
Eh teka lang, ilang taon na nga ba ang PUP?
Ay, alam mo makikita yan sa logo natin eh. Di ba nakalagay doon? PUP 1904. So kung 2013 na ngayon at 1904 tinatagang PUP, 109th founding anniversary ng ating sintang paaralan.
Oo nga, at speaking of logo, alam niyo ba kung ano ang kwento at kasaysayan kung paano na po ang kulay Golden Star at ang kulay maroon sa paligid nito?
Paano nga ba?
Pues yan ang ating alamin dito sa ating episode ng PUP logo dito sa Anghit. Alam niyo ba na ang logo ay ginagamit bilang pagkakilala ng isang establishmento, gusali, paaralan o anumang samahan? Ang bawat logo ay may kanya-kanyang kahulugan at simbolo. Pero ano nga ba ang simbolo sa likod ng logo ng ating sitang paaralan? Sabay-sabay natin alamin ang kahulugan at kwento sa likod ng ating logo dito sa Anghit featuring PUP logo.
Hindi ko pa alam.
Ano ba yung logo?
Nakalimutan ko eh.
Sinisimbolo yung PUP.
May simbolo sa katatagan ng ating universidad. Excellence.
Excellent yung PUP. Parang yung symbol yun ng ano, yun sa humanity.
Yung bilog daw, infinite wisdom. Star stands for the perfection of human person as well as the search for truth. PUP logo, yun yung dream namin. Kailangan namin maabot, mag-graduate namin dito.
Dates back to the conceptualization of this logo, a simplified adoption from Leonardo da Vinci's famous drawing, the proportions of the human figure. At that time, I was the executive assistant of Dr. Nemesio Iguodao. He was the one who conceptualized it.
Ang hugis bituin ng ating logo ay isinunod mula sa tanyag na likha ni Leonardo da Vinci na The Proportions of Human Figure o mas kilala sa tawag na Vitruvian Man. Ang katawagang Vitruvian ay hinango mula kay Vitruvius, isang arkitektong Romano noong 100 AD.
In our logo, the golden section is, of course, the center of the 5 concentric circles, zeroing in on the midpoint of the PUP star logo.
Ang tinatawag na golden section sa between ng ating logo ay siyang sentro ng 5 bilog. Ang 5 bilog na ito ang tinatawag na 5 concentric circles na nangangahulugan ng integrity, ingenuity, industry, intelligence, at internationalism ng PUP bilang isang pamantasan.
This logo serves as a constant reminder to all future generations in the community of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines that from the ancient times, the flowering of ideas from the golden section stimulates proportionate economy, social justice, truth, and beauty. The Polytechnic University of the Philippines star logo becomes a symbol of light for the entire nation.
Ang galing! Yung pala yun!
Dito ka pa naman, Jello. Hindi ako tunay kinig eh.
Sabi kayo, baka naman nakalimutan ko lang.
Eh, wait lang guys. Eh, maiba naman tayo. Hindi nyo ba alam na ang PUP, hindi rin tayo pauhuli sa mga successful graduates natin?
Oo naman!
At pinatunayan yan ng ating dalawang ka-scholar ng bayan na kung saan nag-top lang naman sila sa Nutritionist Dietitian Licensure Exam 2013.
Wow!
Tara, panoorin natin ito, ang kanilang kwento sa PUP yan!
So, pala si Julius Cesar A. Bacnal. So, I'm 20 years old and I took up BS Nutrition and Dietetics dito sa PUP.
Ako si Giancarlo Armorillo. I
graduated as cum laude with GPA of 1.56. And 21 years old na ako, I have my license number. Proud RNP, proud PBL. Ako kasi even start pa lang, nagkaroon na ako ng goals. So sinabi ko sa sarili ko, pagpasok ko sa PUP, kailangan makakuha ako ng Latin Honor from the university. Kailangan maging top notcher ako ng board exam namin. So, start pa lang kailangan may goal setting ka na. Nag-set tayo ng goal na magkaroon ng laude at saka magkaroon ng top sa board exam. So, yun ang naging goal ko. 2 days after malabas yung result, naghanap na talaga ako ng work. So, experience ko talaga is napakahirap. Kahit sabihin mo ng top notcher ka, naging cum laude ka, hindi pa rin ganun kadali pumasok sa tunay na mundo. Nag-apply na ako sa isang agency dito sa Pilipinas, pero itatry ko pa rin na pumasok sa mga food company. Alam naman natin bilang isang PUP-yan, tayo pinanganak na kulang sa financial na kapasidad. So kung meron lang tayo is utak. So utak ang puhunan natin. Ang pagiging isang top notcher ay simula pa lang yan ng buhay. So ang tunay talaga is nagsisimula talaga yan after ng college natin. So ngayon pa lang kapwa ko PUP yan, mag-aaral tayong mabuti. Alam nyo kasi naniniwala ko, knowledge without faith is nothing. Sa lahat ng pinag-aaralan natin, dapat laging ang sentro, Panginoon.
Wow! Ang galing talaga nila, no? Pero alam nyo, baka pwede sila maging personal dietitian ni Kesa.
Baka naman kakailanganin eh, ang pet-pet na nga.
Slim na kaya, no? Eh, nasan nga pala si Kesa ngayon, no?
Balita ko na sa SMX no si Kesa.
Lalakwatsa na naman.
Ginagawa ni Kesa sa SMX.
Balita ko, nililibot niya yung buong Pilipinas eh.
Para saan?
Hindi na tayo sinama kasi eh. Panoorin na lang natin ang may special na inihanda si Kesa sa atin. Panoorin natin.
Hi guys! Andito ako ngayon sa SMX Convention Center para sa 24th Philippine Travel Mart ng Philippine Tour Operators Association o ng PhilTOA. At guys, alam nyo ba, sa loob nito ay ang buong Pilipinas. Kalain mo nagkasya ang bala? Tara, puntahan natin. Hindi lingid sa ating mga kaalaman na ang Pilipinas ay isang bansang mayaman sa magaganda. Magaganda! Ano ka ba? Magagandang tanawin. Kaya naman, lakas loob, taas noo, hulo ang dugo na tinanong ng PUP Creative sa mga tao rito kung bakit nga ba it's more fun in the Philippines. Alamin natin! Bakit po it's more fun in the Philippines?
Because mas marami tayong makikitang sceneries dito.
Because you have the beautiful places here in the Philippines.
Philippines is the best among other countries. Yeah, big house.
A wild country.
Shadow naman daw.
Wild destination. You like it?
Yes. Philippines is a wild country with wild people.
Exciting, tsaka madami mong pupuntahan.
Bakit it's more fun in the Philippines? Kasi nandito ka. Oh, nakakayak naman. Ay, ito naman. Bakit it's more fun in the Philippines? Look up, look up.
Kesa, Pilipinas ka ba?
Bakit?
Kasi ang ganda mo eh.
Bakit po it's more fun in the Philippines?
Bakit? Ano ba?
Ma-enjoy mo yung lugar sa Pilipinas.
Because of you.
Because of the people, you know? So, masaya mga Pinoy eh.
Inuurasan mo? Huwag na lang. Hanap na lang kayo.
Ang tagal kong naghintay para sa sagot. Guys, we have here Governor Vilma Santos. Governor V, bakit po it's more fun in the Philippines? Ang sagot niya, wala eh. Wala ko na pala. Hi guys, we have here Mr. Mark Nelson.
We do? Where?
It's you po.
I knew
Sir,
it. Yes.
why is it more fun in the Philippines?
Number one, the people. The people are the friendliest people all over Asia, possibly all over the world. And also, we have everything in the Philippines. Actually, the only thing we're missing in the Philippines is snow, but that's okay. We don't need snow. We have the best beaches. We have sand.
O, di ba?
Who needs snowmen when you can make sandmen? We have the best scuba diving in the world. You go to Tupataha Reef, you can see everything. We have 95% of the world's marine biodiversity right here in the Philippines.
O, di ba, schoolmates, sabi naman sa inyo, sobrang ganda ng Pilipinas. Ito nga, sabi ng mga nakasal kanina dito sa SMX, ang dahilan kung bakit it's more fun in the Philippines ay una, dahil sa mga magandang tanawin. Pangalawa ay dahil sa ating mga sariling produkto. Pangatlo ay dahil hindi ka mauubusan ng mga gagawin dito sa ating bansa. At pang-apat at ang pinakamahalaga sa lahat, kung bakit it's more fun in the Philippines, eh dahil na rin sa mga masasayahin at magagandang mga Pilipino. Sabi? Kinasabi!
Wow, grabe! Sayang di tayo nakasama dyan sa SMX Convention Center.
Daya-daya ni Kesa. Hindi naman tayo sinama ni Kesa. Pero balita ko nga, may booth daw doon ng PUP. Booth ng PUP Creativity. At alam nyo ha, itong booth na to, kasama nito yung iba pang malalaking kumpanya sa buong Pilipinas. Wow, big time ang PUP. Ang cool, di ba?
Nakaka-proud naman na maging isang PUP, yan talaga naman. At dapat na nating i-celebrate ang ating founding anniversary.
At kaya wag natin kalimutan, mga kapatid sa pananampalataya, mga schoolmates, na batiin ang ating nag-iisa, ang ating sindaparalan ng
Happy 109th Founding Anniversary!
Magsasend nila, no? Happy founding anniversary, PUP! At muli, ito ang inyong online kampayan, PUP TV, pinakausap-usapan sa pamantasan!
Emerson is a global technology and engineering leader. We operate in over 150 countries. We are 110,000 employees worldwide. And here in the Philippines, we have over 2,000 employees.
My name is Vicky Florento. I'm from Dell Philippines. I'm handling the university relations and services hiring.
Pagasa Steel supplies concrete reinforcing bars to the Philippines' booming construction industry. We have been the leading supplier of quality steel bars for the past 52 years.
EGS is an Alorica company. It is one of the fastest growing BPO companies in the Philippines right now.
I'm Cecil Venancio and I'm a Branding and Communications Director of Sykes Asia.
We don't decide whether you're from a top-tier university or a state university. We decide based on our assessments that includes exams and interviews. Having said that, a lot of Dell's workforce in the Philippines are from PUP.
55 to 80 hires annually, those coming from PUP alone. And as a matter of fact, 14 of the homegrown employees who started from staff and supervisors have been promoted.
Currently, we have 13 employees from the PUP. They're working in a different field, so most of them are in engineer, some are in sales, most of them are in the higher position.
There's a huge pool of students that we can really harvest from. And we know the reputation that they bring. So we're glad that we have a university like PUP that we can rely on for our future employees.
I love the graduates of PUP. They're not only fun to work with, but you can rely on them. They are very, very dependable.
PUP graduates are an exact match and fit to Pagasa Steel's mission and vision.
The reason why we prefer the PUP graduates is the fact that we noticed that they have a common denominator, very hardworking. You see, whatever happens, they'd still work. Even if it's raining, they'd still come to work. You give them additional tasks, they'd accept. They are resilient.
Very passionate, aside from being resilient, because we can see that they're very dedicated with their job. And we've seen a lot of PUP graduates, not just in one department.
They turn out to adapt very well and adjust well to our company here in the Philippines. they're productive employees, and they stay with us for a long time.
Stand out sa PUP graduate is their loyalty sa company. Integrity and ethics, drive for results, intellectual capacity, and adaptability. So when we hire PUPians, they have this kind of competencies.
Of course, they're very intelligent people, responsible. Responsible in a sense because whenever we meet these graduates and we ask them what are their future plans, they would always come up with answers like helping out their family, or because I'm done with school, I'll help out another sibling. So you would know already that these kids, even before they actually embark on certain work, they already have goals in mind.
They're not maarte, no? Whatever you give them, they know that if it's for the purpose of the job, they will do it. And so they have, they're the ones that survive the challenges of work. They don't shirk away from responsibilities. They're the type who, whatever the job requires, they're up for the challenge.
PUPians enable people everywhere to grow and thrive.
PUP is one of the pillars of the nation because it is an institution that provides good graduates and people who really contribute to the success of the community or to the success of the country.
To all the people associated with PUP, if you're a graduate, congratulations, and you should be proud of yourselves. For those of you that are students, please continue the tradition, the proud legacy that your school has. Some of you, PUP, you work for us now. We appreciate you. We know you're good employees. For those of you that might work for us in the future, please consider us. We'd love to have you. We know that you make a great employee for us.
PUPians, bring everything you are. If you have big ideas, let's talk. Come work where passion meets possibility. You can visit jobs.del.com for opportunities.
To pursue your dreams and work hard for whatever endeavor you will choose. And in the event that you will choose to apply in one of the fastest BPO companies in the Philippines, I would like to invite you to apply in EGS, an Alorica company, because our doors are open for all of you.
To all the PUPians, let's create a size of smile together.
Smart is very happy to have PUP graduates now enjoying their career and let them live more.
Hashtag Sites to PUP. We will support you in more ways than one.
Tara na, maging magkasama na tayo. Mabuhay ang PUP.
Noon pa man, malaki na ang naging bahagi ng mga kababaihan sa lipunang Pilipino. Kaisa sila sa marubdob na paghahangad ng kalayaan ng ating lahi. Kabilang sila sa paglinang ng ating makulay na sining at mayamang kultura. Kasapi sila sa pagtataguyod ng mga adhikain ng kapwa mamamayan at sa pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng lipunan. Katuwang sila sa pagtuklas sa mga larangan ng agham at medisina. Kapanalig sila sa pagpapairal ng batas, karapatan at katarungan para sa lahat. Kabahagi sila sa paglilingkod sa bayan at sa pagpapanatili ng demokrasyang Pilipino. Sa paglipas ng panahon, hindi nagmaliw ang kanilang pag-ibig sa ating inang bayan. Mga kababayan, ito ang alay ng mga kababaihang Pilipino para sa bayan. Tumayo po tayong lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Ayaw mag-iiw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dilim mo'y buhay. Lumang hinirang, gulat na ng mag-iiw, sa manlulubi, di ka masisingil, sa lahat ng lubog, sa sinuhan, sa lalim mong bahag, may ginanang tula at awit sa paglayo.
Hi, I'm Engineer Florinda H. Oquindo, Director of the Alumni Relations and Career Development Office. The role of our office is to keep connections among students and alumni, provides complete range of services to students, alumni, and employers in the area of career development, graduates and professional schools preparations, employee relations, and campus recruitment. We also provide alumni and students with the tools and resources to help find success in all professional endeavors. To all freshmen, please come and visit us. Our office is located at N209 North Wing, 2nd floor.
Maingay. Good morning, PUPian! So, good morning, Isko. Good morning, Iska. Isang magandang umaga para sa ating lahat. So, I hope everyone is nag-breakfast na and at the same time, may maghapon na naman tayo para sa event na to. So, I hope at alam ko maraming matututunan ang bawat isa sa atin, hindi lang kami as a host of this program, pati ang ating speaker, and at the same time, the beneficiaries of this program are students. So, sa ating mga estudyante na nakaantabay ngayon, nakikinig via Zoom at via Facebook Live, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. So, ako si Professor Jane S. Pulma ng Alumni Relation and Career Development Office would like to welcome you in this 2021 Career Development Seminar. So guys, I know that everyone is excited na para sa event na to. So maraming salamat to our industry sponsor, Alorica, Jobs 180, Microgenesis, and at the same time, Jobs 180, Concentrix, for gracing us this period and taking your time off during this your busy schedule and attending and sharing with us your expertise and knowledge about the event, about the topics that you'll be discussing for today. So, Sir JP, maraming salamat for the Concentrix and Jobs 180 for giving us time, lalo na sa mga webinar natin at namin in the future. Okay, without any further ado, let me discuss first our rules for our webinar today. Okay, we do have, as per mentioned kanina, we do have two participants. One is from the Zoom participants and the other one is our stream participants. Our stream participants are those who watching us in our PUP Career Center Facebook page. So guys, paki-like, paki-follow, or paki-subscribe. Okay? So for our Zoom participants, please be reminded to always keep your microphone or your microphone mute while the webinar proper is ongoing. Please also remember that this webinar is live stream and the Q&A portion will follow after the speaker finish the topic that he or she will discuss. So if you wanted to interact with our speaker, you can do so. We'll be allotting a period of time para sa inyo para makausap niyo siya at maka-interact sa kanya. You can raise your question, your comments, your ideas. So kindly raise your hands or kindly use the Zoom chat if you do have questions, and we will be attending to your question, queries, and insights and comments during the Q&A portion. For our stream participants, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat and welcome to the 2021 Career Development Seminar of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office. So to interact with our speaker during the Q&A portion, our stream participants can use the comment section. Please introduce yourself with your name, course, and section. This will serve as the monitoring and including your question during the Q&A portion. So to everyone, please make sure that you have accomplished the evaluation form flashed at the Zoom chat or the comment section of our stream at the end of the session. Kasi this will give you an access to have your digital certificate 2 to 3 weeks after the conduct of this webinar. So we'll be releasing a certificate of participation to those who attended, evaluated, and participated and accomplished the evaluation form at the end of the session. Okay, without any further ado, guys, let me share you my screen for the message of our Vice President for Students Affairs and Services, Dr. Sinaida Sarmiento. Dr. Sinaida Sarmiento for her welcome remarks.
It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to this career talk. This is one of the activities of the university, specifically the ARCDO, where we would like our students to know the importance of building one's career path. Our dear students, knowing and determining where you want to go and how to get there are our main goals why we have this career talk. Likewise, the university would like to help you achieve your goals in securing future jobs or internships. In this event, you will have the opportunity to meet your future employers, reputable and well-established companies representatives who will inspire and motivate you to work hard to achieve your future goals. To our industry partners and participating companies, thank you for partnering with us and for the opportunity that you are giving our students find their employment or find a good venue for their on-the-job training. May we maintain our intensive relationship and in the process both benefit from it. Rest assured that this university will continue to be your partner in your worthy endeavors. PUP will continue to cultivate its students' potential to make them more productive with exceptional skills and know-how which are needed by your companies. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude and utmost appreciation to ARCDO team headed by AB Pisas and Director Flor Oquindo, and to all participants and sponsors who made this event a success. Again, welcome to this career talk, and may our good Lord bless us all.
Okay, so that was a message from Dr. Sinaida Sarmiento, our Vice President for Students Affairs and Services, the head of our office or our sector. Okay, guys, without any further ado, wait. Let me introduce you to our speaker, okay, or our industry sponsor. So kindly watch first the AVP of Concentrix Philippines.
when the world seemed to stop, we carry on, continue to dream and create. We don't just work with what we know. We innovate to adapt, so you can drive your career forward. We don't just make you feel welcome. We provide everyone an equal opportunity to succeed. We don't stop at just enough. We go extra to care and provide, so you can brave the world safely. Times aren't the same, but we've always been different. We are Concentrix. We dream different. We create different. We embrace different.
Okay, to connect with people in the way that is actually a matter of them, to which technology plus people is equal to culture. So Concentrix is not just a BPO. They provide services to 100 plus Fortune Global 500 clients, 70 plus languages, and 40 plus countries and 6 continents. So they are fanatic about their people. They love every bit of their people, and they show how important they are in showering their employees with perks and culture of belongings, clearing path for the career development, professional support, coaching and mentoring, and performance-based pay. So to connect people with in the ways that is actually clearing matter to them is extremely important, not just being consistent. That's the Concentrix called culture. So to discuss about personality development, or professional support, coaching, and personality assessment, let's welcome Mr. JB Anyunyebo, Partner Relation or Talent Delivery of Luzon. People called relation or talent delivery.
Hello and good morning to everyone. Magandang umaga sa lahat ng mga PUPians. Good morning and thank you so much for having me over. So my name is JP Anunuevo. I'm the Deputy Manager for Talent Acquisition, and I'm also in charge of partner relations of Concentrix. So I'm actually in charge of partnering with various LGUs, NGOs, and also academic institutions such as PUP. So let me share my screen with all of you this morning. Okay. So before we begin, let me just stop my video. There you go. So before we begin, let me just introduce to you my company. So where I work. So I work for Concentrix. So let me talk about Concentrix just really quickly. Concentrix is a global business services company delivering extraordinary customer, employee, and user experiences for more than 450 of the world's best brands. So we are a BPO company. So more here in the Philippines, we're more known as a contact center or a call center, and we service more than 450 of the world's best brands, and a good number
of those brands are actually being serviced here in the Philippines, which you will see in the next slides. So these are brands that maybe you are using, maybe you already know, and these are famous brands. Unfortunately, I won't be able to provide the names because of our confidentiality agreement with all of our clients. So what is it exactly that Concentrix does or do? One, we're into analytics and consulting, automation and optimization, customer engagement centers, digital self-service, experience design and mobility, gig platform, marketing solutions, technology systems and integration, and voice of the customer. Now, here in the Philippines, the most famous service that we're providing for our clients is customer engagement centers. Diyan kilala ang Pilipinas because of our talent and skill in communicating in English and also our innate hospitality. So here in the Philippines, Concentrix has 19 years of experience in operation. We actually started in 2002, pretty much the same time when I started in the BPO industry. I've been working in this industry for 19 years already. We are a very huge company. We have 90,000 in staff, and it's continuously growing. In fact, for 2020 alone, we employed a total number of 48,000 people. Okay, we have more than 127 clients here in the Philippines at continuous itong dumadami pa. And here in the Philippines, from Luzon, Visayas to Mindanao, we have visibility because we have 46 centers scattered all over the country. Okay, mula Baguio hanggang Davao, meron tayong Concentrix. Okay, and we are visible in 15 cities in the Philippines. Now, our Philippine team also was very lucky enough, not really lucky, I think it's because of our performance and our culture. That is why we have received a lot of awards. From Comparably, we were voted Best Company for Diversity, for Women. We were voted Best Company Culture and Company Leadership. And that is something that I'd like to highlight because of the leadership of Concentrix. We are continuously providing how fanatic we are about our staff. Sinabi din yan kanina ni Prof. Jane, and that is very true. In fact, ongoing currently yung sarili naming mga efforts in vaccinating our employees against COVID-19. So that's one good leadership so that we can all work together through this pandemic. We were also voted Outstanding Employer and Outstanding Exporter for 2020 by the Philippine Economic Zone Authority. From the 11th Asia CEO Awards, we were the grand winner of Wellness Company of the Year. And from the ICT Awards, here the International ICT Awards, we won Best Company of the Year, Best Employer of the Year, Best Contact Center BPO Company of the Year, Best Foreign-Owned Company, and Outstanding Use of ICT Services to Fight COVID-19. Our ICT Awards just happened recently for 2021. Yeah, we're so proud about that. So now let me go over our talk or our topic this morning. Okay? Now, magpapakita ko dito sa inyo ng, I have a question to everyone. I think everyone is they identify, alam nyo kung ano ang Pinoy Big Brother. Am I correct? Alam ng lahat ng tao what Pinoy Big Brother is, especially here in the Philippines, especially if you were, because they've been showing on ABS kahit pa nawala ng prangkisa yan ng sa pag-air on free TV, people still know what Pinoy Big Brother is. Paano nananalo ang isang tao sa Pinoy Big Brother? Nasa kaninong kamay ba nananalo ang tao sa Pinoy Big Brother? Normally, when people join Pinoy Big Brother or any of the Big Brother franchises all over the world, it's all a matter, it's really in the hands of the people who wins. Okay? The housemates just nominate each other, but ultimately, people have the power to eliminate a contestant or save a contestant. And what is the usual reason why people save a contestant or eliminate a contestant? It's normally because ayaw nila sa ugali, ayaw nila sa personality and everything. So if you look at it, the topic today that I will discuss with you is very much related to that, and it's very much related to our daily lives. Because my topic this morning is all about personality check, analyzing your personality for your future goals. And it's very important that you know your personality because it will set the stage on how the world will also perceive you to be, and how the world or whatever it is that you want to happen in life will reciprocate to you. Because at the end of the day, and I will be explaining this as we go along, it's all about your personality. Now, what is personality? Personality is a characteristic way of thinking, feeling, and behaving. It embraces moods, attitudes, opinions, and this is also expressed in a lot of ways, in the way we speak, in the way we act, even in the way we dress. It shows our personality. It also includes behavioral characteristics, both inherent and acquired. Now, what do we mean by inherent? Yan yung lumaki ka na ito na yung personalidad mo. Merong mga taong ganun, 'di ba? Kaya nga 'di ba may mga tao na sobrang hilig sa zodiac sign because they say that pretty much your zodiac sign would tell what kind of person you are. And to some extent, I would believe that because I'm a Virgo and my characteristics are very much a Virgo. I'm a I am a perfectionist, I'm a hard worker, I'm very passionate in what I do, and pasok na pasok siya sa kung ano yung definition ng Virgo sa kung ano ko. Okay? So, that's inherent. That is something, there are certain types of personalities that you are born with. Merong mga, lalo na yung mga may anak dyan, mapapansin mo, baby pa lang nakikita mo yung personality ng bata. And as the child grows, you will also observe that kind of personality. So that's the inherent one. Acquired personality would have to be the ones that you acquire as you go through with your life. Okay? Your certain beliefs and your certain way of adapting to the culture of the country and of society will be what we call our acquired personality because it will mold you. Diba nga? Kaya nga meron tayo minsan sinasabi na, oh my God, nagmamature na siya. Kasi lahat ng tao nagbabago. Even your personality will. Merong mga taong dati war freak. Yung nakikipag-away na lang ng basta-basta. Pero sa pagtanda niya, biglang nagme-mellow. Okay? So, because there are certain types of personalities that you can acquire as you go. Diba? Meron tayong, kaya minsan may tinatawag na mga BI, mga bad influence. And there are good influence as well. Because sometimes you can acquire your personality depending on the people you interact with. Okay? So our personality actually distinguishes us from one another. And in the same manner, our personality is also, and other people's personalities would be one of the reasons why we click with each other. Bakit kayo nagkaroon ng barkada? Bakit kayo nagkaroon ng group of friends nyo? Normally, it's because there are certain things that you like altogether. And at the same time, it's the personalities that when you combine your personalities, nagkiklik. Okay? Going back to Pinoy Big Brother, the personality, di ba nga ang Pinoy Big Brother dati, ang slogan niyan dapat kung sino yung nagpapakatotoo. In other words, who is the person who shows his or her real side? Kaya minsan, yung mga ayaw naman nating manalo, they end up winning because they were the ones who showed their personalities more. And that's what endears people to vote for them, either to eliminate them or to save them or if ultimately to make them win. Kasi gusto natin yung personality nila. Kasi minsan yan, di ba? Parang ganito lang yan. I'm sure halos lahat dito kahit na papano nanonood ng TikTok. Kung hindi man lang tayo nagti-TikTok, di ba? Bakit nyo gustong i-follow ang isang personality sa TikTok or sa YouTube or whatever? Diba? Kasi kwela, minsan nakikita nyo entertaining. But is the act really the one that made you follow the person? Or is it because nakakakita kayo ng inherent quality from that person? Na parang, ay, ang sarap niyang i-follow. Kasi kung tutuusin, people can follow people because they relate with other people. And yet, there are some vloggers and influencers na fina-follow ng milyong-milyong tao, Pero hindi naman sila ganun ka-relatable. Paano yung mga sobrang high-end rich na crazy rich agents na milyon-milyon din yung followers? Okay? So ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all about the personality of an individual that sets us apart from each other, that would make us stand out. And the good thing about this is that if you know your personality, you should be able to achieve your goals, especially when you're talking about what happens after your school. Okay? Kanina I was watching the videos, yung isang alumni sabi, kahit na cum laude ka, kahit na nag-top ka ng board, mahirap makakuha ng trabaho. Kasi the reality of it all, and I'm just going to be blunt out, honest with everyone, is that this job, let's just put it this way, job looking and job application, it's a big competition. You may be the most, you could have the most achievement. In other words, you could have been an honor, you may have a Latin honor and whatnot. Ikaw nang pinakamagaling theoretically and academically, but then again, you're pushed into a pool of millions of people who would have the same skill as you. So what now would make you stand out when you're applying for a job? And truthfully, companies are not just looking for who's the more skilled. They're also looking, more importantly, for who is the best person who can fit in our culture, who can fit in our company and work with our teams. So the deciding factor of getting a job or in being successful in business is actually your personality. So it's important for you to know what your personality is. So here is a quote from Paul P. Harris. Paul P. Harris, by the way, is the founder of Rotary Club. So if you haven't heard of Rotary Club, their signs are everywhere, yung four-way test and so on. But his quote, a quote from him states, personality has the power to uplift, power to depress, power to curse, and power to bless. Let's try to reflect on that this morning. Your personality will have that chance or will have that power to uplift and positively influence other people. Kahit pa nakakairita boses niyan, kahit pa nakakairita pagmumukha niyan, but if that person has that kind of personality that can positively influence people, then that person will be able to uplift people. Okay? You noticed how, I think that a good example, for example, of a personality that has the power to uplift, and it's very relevant lately, Heidelin Diaz. I had the honor of meeting Heidelin personally in 2017 when the group where I was working for outside of the BPO industry, and that was the time that we hosted the Miss Universe competition. So we had an event, and I was working for the host committee. And Heidelin was one of our guests, along with Lea Salonga, because we paid tribute to the achievement of women. And that was the time that Heidelin had just won silver at the Rio Olympics. And you look at, the more you talk to her, and it's very evident because she hasn't really changed how she speaks to people, you can tell that her personality has the power to uplift. She was very supportive to the other athletes in the Tokyo Olympics na even kahit na nakakauwi na niya dito sa Pilipinas, nagte-text pa siya, nagpo-post pa siya. So it was a more uplifting thing. It's not just the act of her winning a gold medal that uplifted the people, but it's her personality. She did, even if quote-unquote na malimos siya ng sponsor bago siya nagpunta sa Tokyo Olympics, you can sense that she was very positive about it. Because of the lockdown, gumamit sila ng garahe sa isang tao, nakitira sila sa isang tao sa Malaysia para lang mag-train siya. And yet she remained positive out in all of this. And that was something that uplifted the morale, not only of the people around her, but also people who got to know her story. Personality also has the power to depress. Merong mga tao na pagkasama mo sila, di ba, parang ang bigat nilang kasama, may ganon. And it's not because of the person in general, but because of, hindi naman yun siguro dahil sa ginawa ng isang tao, but I think it's something that has to do with the person's overall aura, personality. Okay? So this quotation is something that we can reflect. If you know your personality, what kind of impression do you give out to the world? Because the kind of impression that you give out to the world will be something that will come back to you. Now, there are different types of personality traits. The topic of my talk this morning is all about assessing your personality. And I don't want to be very academic about it because you should, you should be a psychologist, and that's not even what I finished in school. I finished computer science. But this is something that I have been doing and I have been talking about for the longest time because outside of the industry, outside of human resource, I also handle personality development and personal branding for some beauty queens, kings, and some celebrities. Okay, so ako yung image consultant, ika nga nila. Personality traits would be something that is very important that you should be taking into consideration because your trait will affect your character, your disposition, and even the decisions that you make in life. Kaya nga, di ba, meron mga taong walang patumpik-tumpik. Meron mga tao na impulsive because it also is related to the kind of personality that they have. Okay? These are the traits that you have developed throughout your life, and it will play a major role in your career and overall quality of life as well. So what are these traits? There are a lot of personality traits. In fact, if you look at different textbooks, okay, if you look at different psychology books, depending on the psychologist or whoever wrote it, there will be different numbers of personality traits. Okay, Carl Jung has a lot of personality traits. In fact, I think there's 15 or so. Now, right now, I was able to find this one from John Opie and Srivastava S. They are well-known psychologists also. They simplified it to 5 main personality traits. Okay, and as I define it, I'd like you to, reflect on yourselves. Do you belong in this kind of trait or do you have this trait? And if you have this trait, gaano kalaki ang percentage ng trait na yan sa buhay mo? Because it doesn't mean that as I go through the 5 personality traits, it doesn't mean that, pag itong klaseng personality trait, ito ka lang. Hindi. We are usually a combination of these traits, and it's just a matter of what percentage of those traits are inherent in you. Kung ilang porsyento ang meron sa'yo. Okay, so the first main personality trait that I have here is neuroticism. When you say neuroticism, this is the tendency to experience negative emotions such as anger, anxiety, or depression. Ito yung mga nega na tao na parang wala nang nakitang maganda sa mundo. Ito yung mga taong palaging galit. Ito yung mga taong palaging nadidepress, malungkot, nag-iiyak, maaaring nag-iiyak sa isang tabi. Now, depression, by the way, is also a clinic, and anxiety. They are clinical states as well. Okay, you can be psychiatrically diagnosed as an anxious or a depressed individual, and sometimes when it's in that kind of realm, you would need certain medication. But if we're talking about personality in general, we're not talking about a disorder, we're not talking about any mental illness whatsoever. But when we're talking about neuroticism, this is how we view our life. Kasi meron mga tao minsan na sobra ng jaded. Ito yung mga jaded na tao. Siguro ang dami nilang pinagdaanan sa buhay nila. Siguro ang dami nilang pain and suffering that they have experienced, and that's why they're like that. Okay, so that's what you call neuroticism. Kaya nga di ba may term na neurotic ka na? Kasi baka na sumusobra ka na sa inyong anger, anxiety, depression, or any negative emotions. So think about it right now. Think about it. Ilang percentage ng pagkatao mo? That's what you call personality, yung pagkatao mo. Ilang percent ng pagkatao mo ang pagiging nega? Kasi maraming ganyan. And one thing that I will tell you now, as early on as we are discussing personality assessment, a lot of people don't like to assess their own personalities. Kasi ayaw nilang harapin minsan ang katotohanan na ito ka. Parang ganyan lang yan, di ba? Minsan, meron kang kaibigan, ang ginagawa nyo, di ba, para nag-i-intervention yung mga barkada, yung nagbo-bull session kayo. And you will notice that there will always be that resistance and negativity from the other person when you tell them, alam mo kasi ganito ka. Okay? So, in the same manner, as we go through these personality traits, if you feel resistance, it means baka nga ganyan ka. So as now moving forward until the end of my talk, I hope that everybody has, broaden your mind and your perception, because as we go through this and as I go through the tips that I have in assessing your personality, you will have to face the reality of who you are. And I'll tell you why later on. Now, another main personality trait is what we call extroversion. Di ba may dalawang uri ng tao? It's either you're an introvert or an extrovert. Extrovert means you have extroversion. You are a type of person engaging in a breadth of activities as opposed to depth. Depth kasi yung mga introverts, okay? And you derive your energy from engaging with the outside world. Merong running joke dati from one company that I worked for in the past, na yung mga tao daw sa IT, mga introverts yan. Kasi mas gusto, basically the kind of environment, the IT environment is, if you're in front of the computer and you're working, either if you're a programmer or a systems developer or a network administrator or so, you're always confined to interacting with just the computer and you. But, when you say extroversion, these are people who are very comfortable being out there. These are people who are very comfortable engaging and interacting with the public. Okay? Mga artista, obviously, extroverts yan. Kasi pag sinabi mong kanta, kakanta yan. Pag sinabi mong arte, iyak, iiyak yan. Of course, may bayad. Okay? May stimulus. But generally, in terms of personality, that's what you think. Because it's not true that all IT people are introverts. I know a lot of IT people who are extrovert. One of them is my sister. My sister is well known in the IT industry because she was one of the longest serving presidents of the Philippine Computer Society, and she was also one of the longest serving female IT professionals in the industry. So, siya extrovert yun. Yun pag sinabi mong magpiano ka nga, ay, maghahanap yun ng piano, bibigyan ka niya ng concert talaga. So, our personality should not be dictated also by our work. Okay, so when you reflect on your personality, think of it that way. Are you the shy type or are you the more extrovert type where you're open to everyone? And the thing is, you have to know what percentage of your life is also extrovert or extroversion, because it's very important, especially if you want to move up in the corporate ladder. You have to have a certain percentage of extroversion, because in moving up, in becoming a supervisor, becoming a manager, you deal with people. You deal with talking to people in public. You deal with presenting to whoever. I had to present a lot of things actually in my meetings with, believe it or not, the Secretary of Tourism, in front of governors and mayors, because that's my job, And a lot of people really found it surprising when I tell them that when I was young, I wasn't an extrovert at all. I was very shy. I wouldn't even say a word, not unless you talk to me. Okay? So this can also be an acquired personality. Another main personality trait is what we call openness to experience. Are you the type of person who's at least willing to try one thing? At least once lang. Okay, so this is your intellectual curiosity, openness to emotion, sensitivity to beauty, willingness to try new things in a breadth of activities, and deriving energy from engagement with the outside world. So, openness to experience and extroversion can be looked at as, some people would think of it as the same thing, but, openness to experience has one thing extra. This is your continuous intellectual curiosity, your curiosity for experience, your curiosity on how will I feel when I experience this? I'm not really a risk taker, kasi nga, Virgo o perfectionist, gusto ko kalkulado lahat. But one thing that I told myself while I was growing up was that at least I should try something. You try something new. It won't hurt. When I went to another country, I said, okay, nandito na ako sa bansang to, kapalan na ng muka, tikman natin ang pagkain nila. So I was able to taste kung ano lasa ng scorpion, starfish, natikman ko na yan. Ipis, natikman ko na rin yan. Because of my curiosity. It's because of my openness to experiencing that. It includes even bungee jumping. Sabi ko sa sarili ko. Kasi alam niyo bang hindi ako sumasakay ng roller coaster. And yet, sabi ko sa sarili ko, sige, once lang naman wala namang masama. Ngayon, hari nawa, pagdasal natin sa Diyos, hindi ako takiin sa puso habang ako'y bumabagsak. But I was able to survive bungee jump. It's your openness to experience. And people with an openness to experience, yung mga go-getter people, these are the risk takers also. From a corporate standpoint, these are the people who will make risky actions that yes, it could put the company at risk, but at the same time, they are aggressive, especially if they want to achieve a goal. And do companies like risk takers? Yes. Companies are always looking for movers and shakers. And game changers. Now we call it game changers. Agreeableness is another main personality trait. It's a concern for social harmony and experiencing value from getting along with others. Ito yung mga tao na gusto may peace and harmony in the whole wide world. Diba? Ito yung mga tao na ayoko ng gulo. Ito yung mga tao na pwedeng sabihin sa'yo na alam mo, ganitong nangyari. Pero ayoko ng gulo, huwag niyo ako idamay. Kasi nga, you just want harmony. Ito yung mga tao na ayaw na may nag-aaway, merong nagsisigawan, and that happens. Tendency to next is conscientiousness. This is the tendency to display self-discipline, act dutifully, and strive for achievement against measures or outside expectations. You're conscious. Ito yung you know what the norm is. You know what the path is. You know that this is square. And you stay in the square. Because you're conscious. Are you that type of person? So I just mentioned 5. And the thing is, even if I mentioned all of those 5 personality traits, okay, you start to think, teka, yan ba ako? Ilang porsyento ba ng ang pagkatao ko ng ganyan? If you want to be more scientific about it, if you really want to test your personality, then you take different personality assessments. And right now, for most companies, some would employ psychological testing also when we process applications. What you don't know is that either we enforce a formal psychological test or the psychological test is also part of the interview. Okay? So here are some famous personality assessments that companies would use. One is DISC. Next is the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. There's also the 16 Personality Factor Questionnaire and the Behavioral-Based Structured Interview, or BBSI. What is DISC? Okay. DISC is a personal assessment tool used by more than 1 million people every year so that they can improve their teamwork. This is normally used to see if you can work well with a team and how you communicate with the team, which equates to the productivity of your workplace. Okay, so there are 4 quadrants in DISC: the dominant, influential, steady, and compliant quadrants. Okay? And normally in DISC, merong questionnaire that you answer, and then it computes of your personality, which one is dominant, meaning direct, decisive, are you a doer, are you domineering, are you demanding, and then if you are influential, which percentage, inspirational, interactive, interesting, impulsive, irritating on the on the negative side. From a more people standpoint, are you a steady type of person, meaning are you stable, supportive, sincere, or on a negative type, are you slow, okay, compliant, if you're cautious, you're careful, and so on. Okay. Personality assessments, by the way, usually entails cost. So companies really pay the developers of these personality assessments a certain amount just for them to use them. For example, DISC, if they have to use DISC also. Okay. The Myers-Briggs type indicator is the most famous one here in the Philippines. Actually, companies from the more conventional industries use it. Even BPOs use it as well. So this is an introspective self-report questionnaire indicating differing psychological preference in how people perceive the world and make decisions. Itong Myers-Briggs type indicator, when you see the questions for a Myers-Briggs type of questions, the answer lang dyan is either you're 100% yes, semi-yes, if you're uncertain, semi-no, or talagang no na no. And it will only ask you on your, it will ask you about certain things about yourself. Like, for example, in the party, do you like to be at the center of attention, or do you like to be at the sides drinking whatever? Ganon. May mga ganong type of questions siya. And it actually assesses you in various aspects, like different types. Di ba kanina 5 lang yung personality traits natin? For the Myers-Briggs types indicator, it's more. There's extroversion, sensing, thinking, judging, introversion, intuition, feeling, and perceiving. The good thing about the Myers-Briggs type indicator is that it becomes very detailed. So it tells you alin yung combination mo of all of those type preference. Alin yung dominating, and then alin yung ano. So ano yung pinaka-formula mo, ika nga. And the thing is, if you know the combination of your personality based on the Myers-Briggs type indicator, it sometimes even can tell you what kind of jobs that is best suited for you. Okay? And if you notice, teka, bakit masasabi ng personality assessment kung anong trabaho ang best suited for me? Bakit hindi yung kung anong natapos ko? Because ultimately, what would make a company hire you is your personality, not your skill. Your skill is one thing. That's what would make it get into the door, because there are other assessments for it. But to see if you're going to be stable enough to work in the kind of environment of that company, if you can handle the pressure in that company, if you can handle the people you will work with in that company, it's all about your personality. It's all about who you are. And that's the whole purpose of a job interview. Okay? So next is the 16 personality factor questionnaire. This is more used in the clinical or the counseling process. So if you are, for example, going to a psychologist or psychiatrist, this is the kind of questionnaire that they actually enforce. So if you notice, there are 16 personalities that are here. And then if you look at it, it's like a Venn diagram. Alin dyan yung magkakatumpak-tumpak? Ikaw ba'y nasa bandang gitna lang nila? Or are you a majority of this type of personality? Now, if you're applying for a job and you go through a job interview, majority of the companies nowadays enforce what we call the behavioral-based structured interview, or BBSI. The reason they're doing this and they're going more against the conventional interview, kasi ang conventional interview, they only focus on the knowledge and skills. But people lie. They can always tell you, magaling po ako sa ganito. Magaling po ako sa ganitong programming language. Magaling po ako sa ganitong network structure architecture. But we all know that people can lie. You know? So what companies are now doing is that there are other ways for them to find out how competent you are in your knowledge and skills. Kaya nga sa job application, merong mga exam talaga. Okay, it could be pen and paper test, it could be an online test. There are always exams. At Concentrix, we even give out exams. Meron kaming typing test. We even have a multiple choice type account specifics exam depending on which account they will go to. Halimbawa, if they were going to become a technical support representative, we have a test checking that their background on technology, computers and so on. But interviews should be more about the person, and that's what behavioral-based structured interview is all about. As early as now, I'd like you to study this because chances are when you graduate and when you venture out into the real world and you go to your interview, this is the type that they will be using because it covers the underlying characteristics of behavior like knowledge, skill, values, motives through your action. That's why one example of a behavioral-based structured interview is tell me something about yourself. And guess what? A lot of applicants make the mistake of starting their answer with, well, my name is, my parents are, I'm single. That's not what we want. Because when you're saying, tell me something about yourself, you're supposed to be talking about your characteristics, your professional characteristics, and why that character trait is related or why is it going to be an advantage for you to getting the job. Okay, interviewers in behavioral-based structured interviews would ask questions to orient a discussion on the success or failure of the stories that you would give. Kaya nga may mga tanong ng, one example of a question in a behavioral-based type of interview is, was there ever a time that you had to tell or you had to face everyone to tell them that you made a mistake? How did you do it? What happened? Kaya tinatanong yung what are your strengths? And more importantly, what are your weaknesses? Are we even allowed to say anything negative about ourselves? Yes, nobody's perfect. But it's a matter of how you answer this that would tell us the kind of behavior that you have. Okay? So in a behavioral-based structured interview, the interviewee talks about the action points he or she had taken to succeed. Kaya nga, pag tinanong ka, do you have any weaknesses? Kaya nga it's important for you to know your personality kasi at one point, tatanungin ka talaga. What are your areas of opportunity? What else can you improve on? And it's okay to tell them that you're a flawed person. It's okay to tell them that there are skills that you need to learn. But what is more important is for you to tell them, this is what I'm doing now to make sure that I become a better person. So normally in a behavioral-based structured interview, that is where we follow the STAR method of answering. Disclose the details of a specific event, so that's the situation. STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. In situation, you disclose the details of a specific event. Was there ever a time that you had to tell the people that you made a mistake? So you're now going to talk about it. And in talking about it, sometimes you make a cuento, but don't make your cuento too long. Just be very specific. The T part, task, explain your responsibility in that situation. I was actually tasked to extract reports for the effectivity of this so-and-so. And then action, describe how you accomplished the task. And then the result, what was the result? Outline the impact. What was the impact of your action? Okay, and that's how we actually ask interview questions nowadays. Why? Because this is where we find out, ano ba tong taong to? Ito bang taong to, one, does that person know how to work in team? Because anybody can say na I can work well with teams. But if you start asking them questions on specific, like this, a certain situation, then that's where it will all show. Dun malalaman namin na, teka, storytelling alay si kuya. Okay? Because your personality matters. At the end of the day, it's a matter of, will we be able to work with you? Because we know your skills. Alam namin ang katalinuhan ng mga tao, lalo na sa inyo na nanggagaling ng PUP. And this is, I'd like to trace it back again dun sa mga napanood kong videos before I started my talk. What makes companies get or prefer people from PUP? And if you notice, kahit na marami sa kanila nagsabi, syempre, yung katalinuhan. But if you notice also, it was more of the culture. Their culture or their personality fits with our culture. It's more of who you are as opposed to what academic achievement you have had. And that is why personality matters a lot. Now, is there a way where you can access your personality using the above-mentioned techniques? Yes. In fact, there are many free websites that will access or assess your personality. So, ito kunyari live selling tayo, bibigyan ko po kayo ng time para ma-screenshot ito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yan po. So this website that I'm showing you, http://www.humanmetrics.com/cgi-win/jtypes2.asp, it actually goes to this particular page. So this is the Young topology test. It's not Jung. The pronunciation of Carl Jung's name is Young. Okay, so J is actually a Y sound because he's German. So at least di ba meron tayong trivia today. Okay. Now this is a free personality test based on the Myers-Briggs principle. So if you notice, there are actually a lot of questions. I think 60 plus questions or 100 yata. And then all you have to do is just to click kung sobrang yes or semi-yes, or you're not certain about your answers, or no, or like a really big no. And then at the end of this, once you're done, once you submitted it, it will email you your personality assessment. So it will tell you your combination of the 16 personality types. Anong combination mo doon? And then as you further go through their email, malalaman mo pa, ano ba yung mga klaseng jobs ang pwede sa akin based on my personality? Saan ba ako pwedeng maging successful? Kasi it's one thing for you to know the skill to do the job. Once you're doing the job, you will also realize as you go to the job, and this is the reality of it all, you will get burnt out. So now it's a matter of your personality coping with the job. So knowing your personality will also tell you how sustainable that job will be for you. Kaya nga, di ba meron mga tao na pa-jump sila from one job to another? It's not because of they cannot do the job. It's sometimes because of their ugali. It's sometimes because of their personality. Okay? So why is it important to make a self-assessment of your personality? Like what I mentioned earlier, if you have a goal, you will be succeeding in that goal also, depending on your personality. If you're the type of person who likes to procrastinate, may matatapos ka ba? Kahit goal mo maging mayaman na tao sa buong mundo, pero wala lang, gusto mo nakahiga ka eh. Hindi mangyayari yun. Why is there a higher chance for people not to win in the lottery? One, it's a game of chance. Two, if you're the type of person na maasa ka lang sa loto, ay sorry ka na lang. Kangkungan tayo, friends, right? So it's important to make a self-assessment of your personality because you can actually tweak your personality. Kaya nga, di ba, meron tayong inherent and acquired. Sometimes you will be forced or sometimes you decide to change certain parts of your personality. Kasi in assessing your personality, you will find out, sige, ano ba ang kailangan ng trabahong ito? Kunyari, ano ba ang kailangan ng trabahong ito? Ano ko? Swak ba ang pangangailangan ng trabahong to on a personality basis sa personality na meron ako ngayon? Baka naman dapat may kailangan akong baguhin sa sarili ko. And that is also very important. It's very important for you to always check your personality in order for you to know, one, is my personality at least realistic to meet that goal? Is my personality realistic enough, that it would make me more successful in the choice of job I want? And that is why you should assess yourselves all the time. So dealing with your personality, with personality assessments, should be related to your goals. Okay? Be true to yourself. Magpakatotoo ka. Ano ka ba talaga? Sometimes the hardest part in assessing your personality is the fact that you have to deal with facing your negativities. Yun yung pinakamahirap sa lahat eh. Yung tanggapin mo sa katotohanan mo. Yung tanggapin mo at lunukin mo na meron kang mali. Or may pangit sa'yo. Kasi wala namang perfectong tao. Nobody is perfect. You can be the most intelligent person, and yet, if you notice, some of the most intelligent persons, they're not the ones that are friends with a lot of people, Be true to yourself. Next, know your goals. Realistically, what are your goals? Alam niyo na ba gusto niyo maging pagkatapos yung graduate? Kasi kinuha niyo yung kurso na yan. So, you pretty much have a path where you go or what to do after. Right? You took that course. Now, my question now is, paano kung na-derail yung path na gusto mo? So when you create your goals, you create, okay, plan A, plan B, plan C. If plan A doesn't happen, try plan B. If plan B doesn't happen, plan C. Plan C doesn't happen, try mo ulit yung plan A, baka naman this time around pwede na. Know your goals. Okay? Let me tell you now, and this is a hard reality bite. When you graduate, there will be millions of people with the same course as you. So you have to know your goals and how to achieve them using your personality. Fit your personality to your goals. It's also very important to fit your personality to your goals. That's why it's a good practice to research on the company culture of any company you want to apply for. Research, ano bang klaseng tao meron dyan? Mag-fit ba ako? O meron ba akong kailangan baguhin? So that you know, day one, alam mo na dapat kung paano-paano. Kasi meron mga tao, di ba, masyadong friendly, biglang yung ibang tao ay feeling close. So you have to know how to fit it also with your goals. And more importantly, lastly, be open to changes. The world is continuously changing. Dati-rate, ang Facebook, puro happy-happy yan. Ngayon, pag nakita mo ang feed mo sa Facebook, puro profile picture na itim kasi namatayan. Naging obituary na ang Facebook because times change. People change. You can change. Everybody can change and be open to changes. So embrace change. And more importantly, be a catalyst for change. Magmula na ang pagbabago dapat sa'yo. And you will only know if there is a way for you to change if you assess yourself. And that ends my topic this morning. Thank you so much for having me. Ma'am Jane?
Maraming salamat, JP. So, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Alam ko, yung mga estudyante. Guys, can you give a virtual clap to Sir JP? Job well done, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Dumadami, 12, 16, 26, 28. Okay, so shout out tayo sa ating mga participants ngayon from the College of Institute of Technology, from the NTC. Ano pa ba to? DICT lang nakikita ko eh. Yun yung may section, guys. Pero I know that ang naka-assign ngayon is from the College of Communication, College of Science. So, thank you, guys, sa pakikinig sa ating webinar. Mayroon po bang may tanong sa inyo? Guys, you can raise your hand kung gusto niyo pong magtanong at makipag-interact sa ating speaker. Okay, sir, may nag-raise ng hand. Sandali lang ah. Okay, sir, i-unmute kita. Wait lang po. Sir, pwede ka na mag-mute, Sir Noel? Sir Angelo Noel, pwede ka na po mag-unmute.
Magandang umaga po mula sa National Teachers College. Wala na naman ako questions pero meron lang ako takeaways or thoughts. Gagamitin ko nung inyong presentations. Hindi ko po alam kung meron pa po kayo next guest speaker sa inyong presentation, sa inyong first guest speaker ngayong araw ay gagamitin ko sa personal goal. Yun naman po. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat, Sir Noel, and nice to see you. Sir Noel po ay lagi nating participant sa lahat ng event ng Alumni Relation and Career Development Office. So, nagpa-participate po siya, not just by Zoom, minsan po nasa stream po siya. Okay, so guys, meron po bang may tanong kay Sir JP? Wait lang, sir ha. Tingnan natin sa ating live stream. Walang gustong magtanong. So, sir, si Miss Shani Fernando, good morning and thank you very much, sir.
Thank you also. Thank you so much. Alam kong...
Michelle, ganun din. Maraming salamat din daw po. So, maraming salamat in behalf of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office. So, sir, may tanong. By the way, first year, sir, most of the students ngayon po or participants natin is first year students. So, alam ko po, lalo na sa DICT or sa Institute of DICMT or something, basta sa Institute of Technology po, is meron po silang OJT ng incoming second year and incoming third year. So, for information, sir, welcome po ba ang Concentrix or pwede niyo po ba silang ma-welcome as virtual OJT in the near future sa Concentrix? Technology course, sila, sir.
Okay. What I can do is check on some departments that we have. Kasi pero ang Concentrix kasi what we're doing right now, we have two types of virtual internship. You have the more traditional virtual internship where we check on the departments if there is a need. Kasi right now, yung mga ibang departments namin, skeletal and working at home. So, checking on the progress of the interns will also be dependent. It's going to be a little challenging. So another type of virtual internship that we have is a vertical related type of internship na more training. And these are for people who are interested really in working in the BPO industry. So, for example, we have a tech vertical where we train them on troubleshooting na kasi on a more technical standpoint. So it's more on communications and how it becomes more effective. So it really depends on what they want and what the department would require. So let me get back to you on that one, especially dun sa more traditional one. I'll ask the departments which one. Kasi right now, ang nag-open lang na department into getting a traditional type of virtual internship is our recruitment department. I now have around total na meron akong mga 167 na interns right now for our recruitment department, and it's a continuous na need naman yan. So it depends din kung ano bang accredited, ano bang required ng kanilang college or faculty, and then kung ano yung mag-open na slot sa amin. But we can always coordinate.
Okay, sir. Maraming salamat. Sir, may tanong si Miss Monica. Miss Monica, pwede niyo na pong i-unmute yung sarili niyo. So, pwede na po kayong makipag-interact with our speaker, Sir JP. May tanong siya, sir.
Good morning po.
Good morning.
Kasi po, baka may plan po kasi ako after ko po mag-graduate, tinatanong ko po kung what is the good and worst personality that you consider in your company po. Yung first na personality po na kino-consider niyo po agad.
Okay, well, when we're talking about the good personalities, you want somebody who's really driven, somebody who's positive. Okay, and sometimes we get that a lot. Let me just give you an example. There was one interview that I conducted, and it showed me the kind of personality that individual had. Ang tanong ko lang sa kanya, one question that stuck out was, I asked him how he saw himself 5 years from now. And this can pretty much tell us your drive, your ambition, your motivation in life. Okay, so that's a kind of personality that we're really looking into, and that person really stuck out to me in a very positive way, because ang sagot niya sa akin is, 5 years from now, I want to sit where you are sitting because I also want to provide jobs to people. And you can tell because throughout the conversation, he was talking about the fact that he was helped by a relative kasi wala silang pera, so he was helped by a relative to finish school. Tapos yung tsahin niya, yun pa nagbigay sa kanya ng pambaon para pumunta nun sa opisina. At that time kasi, before pandemic pa to, para pumunta sa opisina, para mag-apply and everything. So he wants to give back. And that's a good way, that's a good personality also. It shows your positivity, that against all odds, you will be able to face the challenges in life. And he doesn't have to tell me na ganun siya. You can tell from how he answered the questions in the interview that was a good personality, that he was really persistent, that he was really willing to do everything to get a job, in the most positive manner. Worst personality, madaming worst personality, and it shows in their actions at the same time. People who are generally unprofessional, people who go to an interview, for example, thinking that yung parang pumasok na sa ulo nila na feeling nila sila na yung manager pero hindi pa naman. Yung mga ganon. In other words, people who are more negative, at the same time, people who are more conceited, those are the ones that we don't really go into. And we normally determine those personalities in the interview as well. When we ask them, even those 5-year, how do you see yourself in 5 years? Merong isang applicant na talagang tahasang minention sa akin. Actually po, gusto ko lang po dito 6 months lang, tapos aalis na ako. Parang, pag ganun ako, What a lot of people should understand is that when we're hiring people entails cost. This is what we call our cost per hire. Kahit na anong kumpanya merong cost per hire. Magkano ang ginagastos ng kumpanya para lang mag-recruit ng tao? Kasi ina-account dyan yung sweldo ng recruiter, sweldo ng boss, sweldo, everything else. Ultimo papel na ginagamit namin para pa-fill out ng form, for example. So, if people tell us na, ay, wala naman akong balak magtagal sa kumpanya niya. Wala lang kasi ako magawa, ganun. it tells a lot that would it be a good investment for us to take a risk on you. And that's why personality is important. That one of the things that we have to check when we are conducting interviews is the tenacity of an individual, and if this person is most likely going to stay in the organization. That which is why we ask the 5-year, 10-year question. How do you see yourself 5 years, 10 years from now?
Thank you po sa pag-answer sa question ko po.
Yes. I hope I answered that. Sorry.
Yes po, okay po. Naintindihan ko po, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir, and thank you, Monica. So, may iba pa po bang magtatanong? So, about personality to guys. So, pwede kayo magtanong. Wala naman daw bayad magtanong sa ngayon. Di ba, sir?
True.
Okay, thank you raw po. Sabi ni Jose, ni Marvin, ni Michelle, and good morning. Well, as ano to? Shani? So, guys, may magtatanong pa po ba? So, I hope, sir, in the near future, pwede na mag-interns ang ating mga technology course.
No problem, ma'am. I'll check on our departments para we can align which courses and so on.
Okay. Sir, may tanong uli yata si Sir Noel.
Yes.
Sir Noel?
Magandang umaga po ulit. Isa pang takeaways ko. Gagamitin nito sa personal ko kay family, classmates, at friends ko tungkol sa inyong presentation tungkol sa personality. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Noel.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sir Noel. So, wait lang po nag-check tayo kung may tanong pa sila sa ating FB page. Guys, naka-like na ba? Saka naka-follow kayo sa aming FB page sa PUP Career Center? If hindi pa kayo nakakapag-like at nakaka-follow, please follow us on our PUP Career Center Facebook page. So, at least magiging updated kayo sa aming mga webinar in the near future. At the same time, the event na i-hold or i-conduct ng PUP Career Center. So, marami rin po kami mga industry partners na member or nagpa-follow at follow and subscribe. Subscribe is pa YouTube, diba? So, follow and like sa aming Facebook page. Okay? So, guys, kung wala na pong tanong, can you give me a hint kung wala na magtatanong? Can you type number 1 or type number... Okay, type number 1 kung wala na magtatanong. Or, so at least si Sir JP medyo okay na. So, mukhang wala na at naintindihan yata, sir, nila lahat. Wow, dumadami. Okay. So, Sir JP, maraming salamat and sharing your expertise and knowledge about the subject or about the topic, personality management.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Opo. Ay, sir, may pahabol na question. Last question.
Sige po.
May nakita po akong last question. Sir, may tanong. Paano daw po ba nila... Halimbawa, sir, introvert daw siya, kaya lang, ang hinihingi na skills or ang hinihinging personality on her or his job is for extrovert. Ano daw pong pwede niyang gawin?
Okay, that's a very good question. Like what I said, personality can be acquired. So, if you are generally an introvert and the need is something that is more of an extrovert, then I think you should start coming out of your shell. Start interacting with a lot of people, start deriving energy also from your interaction with other people, and that should follow. It's not an overnight thing. I will tell you this, nung bata ako, I was very much an introvert. Diba? And it took me, actually, nagsimula ako maging more extroverted because of one teacher I had in grade school na narinig niya akong kumakanta sa isang sulok ng classroom, bigla niya akong pinakanta sa harap. And the next thing I knew, I was competing in singing contests and I was winning. So that was the start of it. You know, mangangatog pa rin yung tuhod mo every now and then, but the more you, it's a mindset really. If you derive your energy from interaction with a lot of people, then you will find it very satisfying. I like interacting with people now. In fact, yung ganitong mga talk, this is what keeps me energized. Before the pandemic, umaabot ako hanggang Pangasinan sa ganito. Nagtotalk ako sa, you know, talking to hundreds of people, and now I'm okay with it. But it took a while to get there. It took, you know, a good few years to do that. So if you know that you have to work on that, start working on it now.
Question tayo, sir. Okay, may isang, what if daw, sir, yung takot ka namang makisalamuha yung tao sa iba because may trauma ka of ignoring him or her. Mr. Mark Lester, pwede mong open yung mute niyo po yung microphone niyo para maki-interact ka kay Sir JP para sa question.
Okay na po. Sir, what if takot po makisalamuha yung tao sa iba because of trauma of dahil ini-ignore po siya ng ibang tao? Narinig na po ba ako?
Audible ka naman.
Sorry. Ako pala ang naka-mute. Sorry. Going back, I was saying a lot of things already. It's a matter of mindset also. Okay? One thing that I like to share to everyone is that you cannot please everyone. Okay, there will be people who will ignore you. There will be people who will not really, where your presence and where your existence may not necessarily matter to them. And we can't change that right now. We can change how they think about you by just doing, you know, your best in what you have to do right now. Okay, don't focus so much on the people who will be giving you back.
Si JP nandyan.
Hello? Narinig niyo po ba ako? Guys, can you hear me?
Opo.
Yun. Si Kim Chua yun, nakita ko.
Yes, sir. Audible ka po.
Yun. So, you can't really expect everyone to like you. And I think that's something that's very inherent in your generation. I don't mean to pinpoint a certain generation here, okay? I come from a very different generation as myself. But especially the generation nowadays, I just noticed that a lot of people from your generation would derive would rely on the approval of others through social media and so on. So don't think mostly about the negativity, because you know what, we don't live in a perfect world. People will always not like you. So what do? Huwag kang matakot. Go ka lang, laban lang. You know, focus on the people who would most likely interact with you more positively. Okay? Check on your personality. What is your personality right now? Try to live in the more positive type of personality and dwell in that. And then, you know, ultimately, if now not a lot of people like you, they will eventually do, as long as you always keep your personality in check. Meron isang question dito, Ma'am Jane. For HR
yes,
companies,
po,
What do you really consider more in hiring, the experience or the personality? It really depends on the company, and it really depends also on the job opening. Okay, I know for a fact that some conventional companies, depending on the position, they would also, it's a plus if you have the previous work experience. It's a plus kasi it will tell us na meron ka ng skills for it, na meron ka nang na-develop about it. But at the same time, companies would most likely, especially for entry-level positions, companies would likely go for the newer ones because ito yung mga taong pwede naming ma-mold into our culture, into what we do in our mainstream. So it's a case-to-case basis really, Karil, on what companies consider. I can tell you that for Concentrix, and I think I can tell also for the rest of the BPO companies here in the Philippines, that experience is a plus, but it's not the deciding factor. In fact, minsan pa nga sa BPO industry, yung previous work experience mo in the BPO industry, it could even be against you, lalo na kung makikita namin na ilang buwan ka lang sa isang kumpanya, tapos lumipat ka sa ibang kumpanya, tapos lumipat ka sa ibang kumpanya. Minsan mas hindi pa natatanggap yon because it only tells us na hindi ka nagtatagal. What is more important in experience is kung nagtagal ka dun sa previous company mo. Because then it will tell us your loyalty, your tenacity in that particular field before you realize that you have to move on. Okay? So I hope that answers that. Personality still counts at the end of the day.
Okay, sir. Maraming salamat, and I hope that everyone is satisfied dun sa mga sagot ay sa mga sagot ni Sir JP na tanong nyo. So, maraming salamat, sir, again, in behalf of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office. Maraming salamat in gracing your time and taking your time off for this webinar. And I'll see you again on our next webinar, Sir JP.
Sureness. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thanks,
sir.
everyone.
Thank you. And thank you, Concentrix. Okay, our next speaker is a platform. Wait lang. It helps us in preparing our resume online. So let's welcome, or let's watch first the ABP of our sponsored company before I introduce you to him. Wait lang po ah. Let me share my screen. Wait lang. Saglit lang po. So, our next speaker, sige, habang ginagawa natin to, our next speaker is, kilala natin siya, pero kaya lang, dun sa isang chinita, pareha silang Chinese, lalaki nga lang siya. Tama ba? So, our next speaker is from Jobs 180 to discuss about e-resume writing and informational interview. Mr. Kim Chua. Wait lang, sir, ha? Okay. So, let me share my screen para po sa ating ABP ni Jobs 180.
There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz at jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Okay?
There are
To discuss about e-resume writing and informational interview, our chinito for today, Kim Chua. Not Kim Chua, it's Kim Chu from jobs180.com.
Hi,
You can
good
take
morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Tama po narinig nyo mga PUPians, no? Lalaki po ako. Ako po ay hindi si Kim Chu. Kung hindi Kim Chu, meron talagang So, for this morning, I know you've been listening to a lot of speakers na from Alorica, meron tayo from EBAR, no? As of course si Sir JP from Concentrix. Ako naman ngayon, ang i-share ko sa inyo yung mga kailangan nating tools, no, pagdating sa online, because right now, even if you're still in your freshman level, or maybe some of who are listening right now, wala sa freshman, baka nasa ibang year level, I'm sure marami kayong mga tools na ginagamit ngayon online kasi lahat tayo virtual. So aside from that, I will also share to you yung mga kalokohan, no? Mamaya share ko sa inyo yung mga kalokohan. Pero since marami times ko nang ginagawa to sa PUP, I'd like to introduce something new to you. Gusto ko siya gawing interactive. Gusto ko mamaya dun sa portion na if you want to learn about ano yung mga kalokohan ng HR o ano mga kalokohan ng mga aplikante, I'd like to hear it also from the audience. So, without further ado, ang gagawin ko muna ngayon is I'm going to share my screen. Yan ang unahin ko munang gawin. Okay, bago tayo magkwentuhan at mag-share ng kalokohan, share ko na muna yung screen ko para makita ninyo. Okay? So, teka, yeah, let me now put this up. I hope you can use your icons, kung ano mga emoticons nandyan, kung pwede nyo gamitin, heart sign, happy sign, any sign, kung nakikita nyo na yung share screen ko, at mukhang walang nagsasign. Teka lang, let me go make it full screen. Wala pa rin ako nakita anyone putting up anything. Teka lang, sige. Mukhang wala pa kayo nakikita. Kasi wala pa rin ako nakikita sa screen ko eh. Blanco pa. Ayan. So I hope everyone is safe at home. Wala tayong choice. Kung hindi, magpasalamat at tayo ay safe sa bahay. Ngayon po ay Burr months na. In case hindi nyo alam, lumilipas ng kalendaryo. No? Hindi ko alam kung lumabas na rin si Jose Marichan. I've always been seeing a lot of mga nagsishare online. Meron din ako nakita, sabi nila last year daw si Jose Marichan ang ang inaabangan. Ngayon daw si Jackie Chan kasi lumabas na rin siya sa Shopee. But anyway, wala lang, just sharing lang. So, lumabas na po ba sa screen? Teka lang, wala pa rin yata. It's still loading. I don't know why. But anyway, sige. So habang naglo-load siya, sisimulan ko na yung pag-share sa inyo. Marami tayong tools right now, no, na ginagamit online. If you need to buy something, you know what apps to use. If you're hungry and you want to, order some food, you know what apps to use. Now, this time, if you're going to look for a career or look for a job, marami rin mga apps right now. Marami mga online tools, no? One of the tools I wanted to show you is itong tinatawag nating resume link. Now, why am I particular with this one? Kasi meron akong checklist na gusto ko i-share sa inyo at inaantay ko lang mag-load yung screen ko. Yan lang talaga ang ginagawa ko kaya nagpapatagal lang ako. No? Meron akong checklist para makita nyo kung ito ba yung mga checklist din ninyo if this is something that you want to happen to you. Okay? So, let me just confirm lang. Can you see my screen now? Because I can see my screen now. I don't see anyone sending anything. Checking lang po. Can you see the screen? May mga nagchat at di ko na rin nababasa yung chat nyo. Yes sir. Yes po. Yes po. Oh, yes sir. Kita na. Okay. Oh, tama na. Okay na. Enough. Okay. Sige. Balik na tayo dito. Sasara ko na yung chat screen ko. Okay. So, simulan natin. Ano ba itong tool na ito? Sabi ko nga may checklist ako, di ba? So, una sa checklist ko is that, do you want to stand out? Siguro naman, di ba, sa dami ng mga aplikante ngayon, nag-a-apply. Later on, kayo rin, maghanap kayo OJT, internship, gusto nyo, I'm sure, mag-stand out. Now, ang kalaban nyo, hindi lang mga fresh grad, kalaban nyo rin ngayon, sa panahon ngayon, pati na rin yung mga may trabaho, may experience. Okay? Now, another thing in my checklist is that you don't want to be spending so much money. And this tool that I'm showing you is absolutely for free. Wala itong bayad. Okay? Another thing I want to show you, ang bagal ng computer ko, no? Binabagalan ko na nga, hindi pa rin naglo-load eh. So, another thing I want to show you is, yung pinaka-importanting tanong is, you want your information to be secured. I think sa panahon ngayon, yan ang pinaka-importante. Kailangan yung data natin secured. Okay? So, with this tool, it will be able to address those questions or those checklists, ika nga. Okay? I also wanted in my checklist is that kung ako yung aplikante, gusto ko mabilisan din. Ayoko na, hindi naman ako mainipin, pero sa totoo lang, ayoko naman na tumatagal pa yung proseso. Pag nag-a-apply ako sa company, kung ako yung aplikante, I want to get an answer. Diba? Kung pasado ako, then let's proceed. Kung hindi ako pasado, huwag niyo ako paasahin. Sino ba sa inyo dito gusto nagpapaasa? O, diba? At kayo rin, ayaw niyo rin naman umaasa. Diba? Yan, sigurado tayo dyan. Align tayo. Ako naman, as an HR, same thing. I also understand how an applicant behaves. So if I'm the HR, hanggat maaari, when I see the profile, it's either we proceed or we keep you for future reference. Diba? Yan lang naman yan eh. At magkaalaman na. Okay, so that tool is called Resume Link. Okay, this is a personalized URL that anyone can open online anytime. Okay, so I will use an example para makarelate kayo. Okay, ang sample ng resume link could be johnsantos.jobs180.com. So if I'm going to do a shout out lang, I see someone by the name of Matthew Sagales. So shout out to you, sir. Gamitin lang kita as an example. Ang resume mo or ang resume link mo pwede maging matthewsagales.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. So how do you make one? O diretso na tayo, di ba? Diretso na tayo. How do you make one? You go with the first step. And the first step is for you to register. How do you register? You go to your school career portal. So I'm showing you now on the screen. Okay, you can write this down. You can take a picture. You want to try to memorize it. Kayo bahala. No? Screenshot nyo na lang. Mas mabilis. So you go to this link. Schools with an S. schools.jobs180.com/PUP. Okay, kung bakit PUP, wag nyo na akong tanungin. Yan po ang alma mater nyo. Yan ang school ninyo. Okay, so you go to that link. Okay, and then you click on register on the upper right side of your screen. Now, as you do that, what happens next? Diba? Some of you, diba, are thinking, anong next? You just have to fill in the blanks. Ganun lang siya. Now, in case na hindi mo malalat tong link, pwede ka rin pumunta sa website ng jobs180.com. Okay, so go to www.jobs180.com. Okay, tapos doon kayo mag-register. Piliin nyo lang syempre yung school niyo, PUP or Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Okay, next. Pag kayo ay nakapasok na, you have to start by creating your unique name. Now, some of you are wondering, ano pong unique name? Simple lang to. Pangalan nyo is a unique name. Okay? Whatever your name is, no? Let me use again, shout out to, merong gusto pumasok ngayon, pangalan niya, Kent Tesorero. Ayan. Shout out tayo kay Sir Kent. Hindi pa pumapasok sa meeting room natin. So, example lang, if your name is Kent Tesorero, your unique name, I think, is Kent Tesorero. Okay? Now, if ever lang may kapangalan si Sir Kent, may ibang tao, pangalan din, Kent Tesorero, katukayo mo, saktong-sakto, naunahan ka nga lang mag-register, ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon na red na box, sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Now, kung taken na, huwag naman kayo malungkot. No? Nakita mo, taken na kaagad, wala na, nadismaya kaagad. Huwag tayo madismaya. Kailangan maging creative. Okay? Pwede mong balik ta rin, pwede mo gawin Tesorero Kent. Diba? Pwede mo rin gawin T Kent, o kaya Kent T, o kaya Tesorero K. O di ba? Di ba, di ko ano gusto mo gawin, no? Pwede mo gawin pagbalik-balik rin mo. Basta importante, wala kang kapareho kahit kayo may kapangalan. Napaalala ko lang din sa mga gagawa ng resume link, huwag naman kayong OA. No, huwag kayong gumawa ng mga over-creative unique names na mga iba sa inyo nakalagay, Boss Pogi, o di ba? I am sexy and hot. It does not sound professional. Imagine mo nila nag-a-apply ka sa kumpanya. When you send your resume to a company, of course, you want to apply. And then the HR will ask you, do you have a resume? And then you start to answer them. Sir, meron po. Ang resume ko ay eljablo.jobs180.com. I think that will not sound professional. Okay? Baka matakot pa yung HR sa inyo. So, I don't recommend that you overdo it. I just want you to use your name. Kung ako lang just use your name. And whatever your name is, it will sound professional. Okay? Now, as you register, you have to use a valid email. Now, when I say valid email, yung mga email na nabubuksan natin. Simple lang naman, no? Email na nabubuksan. Okay? Kagaya ng Gmail, Yahoo, Rocketmail, whatever that email is, basta nabubuksan mo. Huwag kang gagamit ng email na kagaya ng rhea@facebook.com na email. Huwag kang gagamit ng james@facebook.com na email. Bakit? Because if you use yung mga @facebook.com na email to register, you will no longer be able to receive notifications being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. So kailangan gumamit ka ng email na nabubuksan nyo para pwede nyo ma-verify yung account mo at doon mo palang ma-receive yung mga notification na papadala sa inyo ng mga companies as well as jobs180.com. Okay? So importante you have to verify. Para matapos ka sa first step, kailangan mo mag-verify as a proof na ikaw nag-register. Okay? So tapos na tayo sa first step. Okay, sa mga kakapasok lang at late na kadating, ano po ang first step? Ang first step ay register. Okay? Simple lang, register. Next, let's go to the second step. Ang second step, ang pinaka-logical sa lahat. Ito ay dapat kumpleto information nyo. Now, itong tanong na to, huwag nyo na sagutin sa chat. Okay? I'm sure you can answer this question. Ang tanong ko dito is, meron ba sa inyo mag-a-apply sa mga kumpanya, magbibigay ng information kulang-kulang? Siguro meron. Okay? Meron. Later on, baka may na-miss out kayo. Pero sigurado rin ako, hindi mo intentionally naman gagawin that if you're going to apply to a company, bungi-bungi ang information mo. Diba? So you have to make sure you complete the information. And that's the most logical of all the steps. 3 steps lang naman to eh. Nasa second step na tayo. Okay? Complete the information. So how do you complete the information? Punta ka ulit dito sa link na pinakita ko kanina. Kung di mo na picturean, di mo na sulat, hindi mo na screenshot, try mo nang gawin ngayon. Okay? So go to schools.jobs180.com/PUP. Now, this time, hindi mo kailangan mag-register. Ano gagawin natin? Mag-login. Yan. Kailangan mo lang mag-login. Now, if ever lang hindi mo nalala tong link na to kasi yun nga, for some reason, hindi mo nasulat, pwede ka rin pumunta sa jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com at dito kayo mag-login. Okay? Kayo lang may alam ng login ID nyo. Okay? I'm sure yung login ID nyo, either resume link mo or yung email, yan ang gagamitin. And then you put your password. That I'm definitely sure ikaw lang may alam. Okay? So, as you do this, you now go into your account. So, meron ka na ngayon dashboard kung tawagin. You're inside your account. What do you do next? You fill in the blanks. Okay? At this point, ayoko na kayo i-bore. Hindi ko na kailangan sabihin ano pa dapat ilagay. Obvious naman, kung nabasa nyo nakalagay dyan name, malamang name ninyo. Kung nakalagay dyan address, malamang address ninyo. Diba? Kung nakalagay dyan contact details, malamang contact details nyo. Hindi yung contact details ng boyfriend or ng girlfriend mo. Okay? So ano gagawin natin? Fill in the blanks. Now, I want to emphasize on some items na kadalasan, yan na, simulan ko na, kadalasan, ito yung mga nakakamali yung mga aplikante or nakakalimutan. Okay, kung saan these are very useful information. Ano yung una sa lahat? You put all the possible means na pwede kang makontak na isang HR. Lahat ng pwedeng paraan na pwede kang makontak na isang HR, ilagay mo dito. Lahat. Yes. Ano yung mga yan? Okay? You put here your social media account. Okay, oh yan, nag-react na kagad, diba? Bakit social media? Oh, ito, sabihin natin, let's be practical. You put here your phone number. Okay, that's the first thing you do. Of course, contact details, your mobile number. But normally, pag tinatawagan kayo, hindi nyo sinasagot. Lalo na pag hindi nyo kilala yung tumatawag. Ano gagawin nyo? Pag nag-ring yung phone, hala, sino kaya ito? Ano ang gagawin? Ayaw sagutin. Ayaw sagutin, inaantay na mag-text yung tumatawag. Paano kung hindi nagte-text yung HR? Diba? Masipag lang siya magtawag, pero tamad siya mag-text. Hindi mo na nakuha yung opportunity, na miss out mo na. Diba? Some of you naman, ano gagawin? Nire-reject pa yung call. Naiingayin, siguro ring ng ring. Sino ba ito? Hindi ko kilala. Re-reject yung call. Diba? You never know. These might be companies who are knocking at your doors. So ano recommend ko? Simple lang. Sagutin nyo muna yung tawag bago nyo i-decide kung dapat nyo ba siyang i-ignore or hindi. Lalo na kung hindi mo kilala. Okay? Now, kung may tanong kang tinataguan, may iniiwasan ka, tsaka mo na simplehan. Pag sinagot mo, kilala mo na, yun, tsaka mo na simplehan. Okay? So, lahat na pwedeng paraan na pwede ka makontak ng HR, ilagay nyo dito. Okay? So, yung mobile number, lagay nyo. Kung may landline, lagay nyo yung landline. Email, of course, obviously, you put your email, but you don't open your email more often than you open your social media account. So, yan ang isang item na huwag nyong kakalimutan. Lagay mo rin dito yung mga social media account ninyo, Facebook, Twitter, iba pang mga paraan na pwede kang makontak ng sa HR. PM lang, mas mabilis, di ba? Pwede tayong mag-private message, mabilis na makakontak sa inyo. Okay? Next, ano pang lalagay nyo dito? Lagay dito ang work experience nyo kung meron kayong work experience. Kung wala, try to look at the one I'm showing you on the left side of your screen. Meron dyan 4 na work options. Parang switch lang yan. Yes, no lang gagawin nyo. No, on off switch lang yan. Ang gagawin ng system dito, imamatch kayo sa mga possible companies na naghahanap ng kapareho ng profile nyo. So ano example? Willing to work night shift, willing to relocate, looking for OJT. Later on, you might be looking for OJT. Diba? Willing to work overseas. Ayan. So gagawin nyo, yes, no lang. At yung mga companies na ganun yung profile ang hinahanap, imamatch kayo. But I'm not saying na automatic may trabaho na kayo. Hindi ko sinabing guaranteed may trabaho na. Ang sinasabi ko lang is at least the chances of you landing a job will be higher. Kasi you don't have to go through door to door sa mga kumpanya para lang magbigay ng inyong resume or ng resume link nyo. Sa ganitong paraan, pwede na kayo mamatch ng mga companies. Okay? O, tuloy pa natin. Education, obvious na anong school lalagay nyo, yung school ninyo right now. If you have other schools other than PUP before or later on, after mo mag-graduate dito sa PUP or nag-transfer sa ibang school, you can also put it here. Wala tong limit sa space. Seminars attended, wala rin tong limit sa space. Kahit magkopyahan pa kayo, walang problema. Okay? Pagdating po sa certification, ganun din. If you have certification programs, lagay mo lang dyan. Wala tong limit sa space. Pagdating po sa achievement, dyan kadalasan na problema yung mga aplikante. If you're at your first year pa lang, kung ako sa inyo, simulan mo na itong gawin. Okay? So later on, as you build up year after year, as you get more experience, you get more exposure sa iba-ibang mga ginagawa nyo activities sa loob ng school at sa labas ng school, ilagay mo yan sa loob ng achievement nyo. Ang achievement, hindi lang limited sa academic excellence. Hindi naman tayo lahat Dean's Lister. Hindi naman tayo lahat honor student. Di ba? Some of us are student leaders, active sa school. May iba naman sa atin, hindi active sa school. Sa labas ng school, active. Diba? Active sa kung ano mga pinagagagawa natin. Diba? Kung ano man yung pinagagagawa nyo, kung active ka sa barangay mo, isa kang kagawad, ilagay mo dyan. Okay? Walang limit yan pagdating sa achievement. As long as you think it is an achievement, then you put it here. Okay? Ano pang meron? Pagdating po sa my skills and languages, dito gusto ko lang i-highlight ito na papansin ko. Hindi lang ako. Kaming mga HR. So I'm speaking on behalf of the other HRs. Madalas napapansin namin yung mga aplikante na nag-a-apply, umiikot lang yung skills dun sa course nila. So example, if you are a graduate of engineering, example lang kadalasan umiikot lang mga skills mo sa pagiging isang engineer. May iba naman, graduate ng HRM, example, or tourism, umiikot lang yung mga skills nilalagay nila sa pagiging isang tourism graduate or HRM graduate. So on and so forth. Now, what am I saying here? Huwag mong ilimit dyan lang sa course nyo. Some of you, kahit na-graduate mo, example lang graduate mo, education, ilagay mo dito yung mga skills na walang connect sa education. Kagaya ng, example lang marunong ka sa photography, marunong ka sa graphic design, marunong ka sa ibang mga IT stuff, di ba? Marunong ka sa plantita, example, magtanim, arts and crafts. Lahat ng yan, no? Even music, these are all your skills. So I recommend you put it here because ang ginagawa mo ngayon, what you're doing now, is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to that prospective company. Okay? And as an HR, I'm telling you, one of the first things that we look at is not actually the school, is not whatever yung grades mo, hindi yan ang una-una The first thing normally is they look at your skills. Okay? So kung nag-match yung skills, then that's the next other items we check on. Okay? So importante, lagay mo dito lahat ng skills na meron ka kahit walang connect sa course mo. Okay? Pagdating naman sa languages, sigurado ako dalawa na alam nyo. Sure ako, huwag nyo na i-deny. Alam nyo ang English, alam nyo ang Tagalog, okay? Or Filipino, if you want to be say Filipino. Tagalog as a local dialect. If you know other local dialects, sa Bacano, Bisaya, Ilonggo, Kapampangan, lagay mo dyan. Walang limit sa space yan. Pagdating sa foreign languages, same thing. You know, Chinese, Japanese, French, Vietnamese, whatever you know, diba? German, lagay mo dyan. Lahat yan, languages na alam mo. So you put it there. Okay? Walang limit sa space. Now, when it comes to references, dito, sigurado ako, kung meron na kayong resume na nagawa, yung mga references na nilalagay nyo, kilala nyo. Sure ako dyan, kilala nyo yan. Ang tanong dito, kayo ba kilala nila? Sana, 'di ba? Sana kilala kayo. Kasi madalas pag tumatawag kami sa mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. Yung pinaka-worst dyan, hindi talaga kayo kilala. Okay, so please tell your reference na ginawa nyo sila as a reference. So they know what to tell about you pag tinawagan namin sila. Okay? So at this point, I think some of you aware na kayo about the information sa isang resume because some of you might be saying, Sir Kim, alam ko na yan. Meron na akong resume. Nagawa ko na yan sa Word file, sa PDF file, at saka kung ano mang ibang mga files nyo. Then okay lang. Chill lang, chill. Okay? Kung meron ka ng resume na nagawa sa ibang file, then I recommend i-transfer mo lahat ng information dito sa loob ng resume link para maging secured yung information nyo. Okay? Bakit secured? I'll tell you as we go along. Okay, as we go along. Next, yung ipapakita ko sa inyo, this is something that you don't find in a traditional, normal, usual resume. Okay, ano tong part na to? Ito yung tinatawag nating portfolio section. The portfolio section, what I'm showing you right now, is a section where you now upload evidence of your skills. Example, ano ebidensya na graduate na kayo later on? Meron kang diploma, di ba? Meron kang transcript, di ba? Ano pa meron? O iba sa inyo humihirit, sir, meron akong toga, di ba? Meron akong grad pick. Yung toga at grad pick, hindi yan ebidensya na graduate na kayo. Okay? Ano pa? Di ba? Certificate, yan, pwede yan. Okay? Ano ang ebidensya na wala kang criminal record? Meron kang NBI clearance, police clearance, barangay clearance. Example, okay? Ano ebidensya na pwede ka pumunta sa ibang bansa? Meron kang passport, meron kang visa, okay? Meron kang ticket. Ayan, sa mga piloso po, yan ang mga sagot. May ticket po ako. Ayan. Okay, so yung mga sinasabi ko, these are evidence to your claim na meron kang mga ganong skills or meron kang ganon sa iyong profile. Okay? So what I recommend is that you can take a picture, you can scan them, and put them here sa portfolio section. Bakit? This will simplify the process and make it more efficient. Hindi lang sa part namin mga HR, sa part nyo as an applicant as well. Okay? Bakit? O, ayan. Dami nyo tanong eh, di ba? Alam ko mga tanong nyo, sinasagot ko na rin eh, di ba? Ayan. Later on, tinan nyo. Some of you might be thinking, Sir, kung lahat naman kami magkakaklase, lahat kami fresh grad, lahat kami wala experience, maliban sa OJT, if ever lang, mayroon kayo OJT later on, how will we stand out? Diba? Paano kami magsa-stand out kung lahat namin pare-pareho yung teacher namin, pareho naman yung course namin, pareho yung curriculum namin, pareho lahat, basically, pareho yung school namin eh. So, how will we stand out? Okay. Ang sagot ko dyan, definitely, ikaw nakakalam ng sagot because you are always unique compared to your classmate, compared to your barkada. And how do you now showcase that? Focus on the next item I'll show you. Itong portion na to, ito yung wala sa mga traditional resumes. This is where you can now create a selfie video. Yan. Tama na rin nyo, selfie video. Yan, natutuwa na iba sa inyo. Uy, okay to, parang TikTok lang. Correct, correct. Hindi ko na kailangan i-demo or kwento sa inyo paano gumawa ng selfie video. Kung gumagawa na kayo ng TikTok, alam nyo na. Except lang, you don't dance here. Okay, you don't do those TikTok stuff, diba? Except lang doon sa part na yun. Pero everything else is almost the same. You get your smartphone, record the selfie video, you say something interesting about yourself and pretend that you're being interviewed by the HR. Answer basic questions, yung mga common questions. Ano yung mga common questions? Ay, ito yung mga gasgas na tanong na. Ano yung mga common tanong sa HR? Tell me something about yourself. Yan, una yan. Ano pa ibang mga tanong? Why should we hire you? O, di ba? So, pretend ka na lang. Pretend ka na in-interview ka na isang HR, sagutin mo by recording yourself on a selfie video. Ang maganda ngayon, pag hindi mo type, delete mo. Di ba? So, pwede ka magkamali kahit maraming times. Delete ka ng delete hanggang sa gusto mo na yung video mo. And when you're done with it, what do you do? Pag okay ka na, you now upload that video doon sa mga video channel like YouTube, Vimeo, maraming mga video channel na libre. Upload mo lang doon. And that link is what you put in your portfolio section. I recommend, maiksi lang yung video, mga 1 minute or less. Okay, I'll show an example here. If you can watch it, then please watch it muna. I don't know if maglo-load siya. So, panoorin nyo muna.
I'm Kathleen Ann Espangilinan, 19 years old from Pasig City, and currently taking BSID with specialization in web and mobile application at FEU Institute of Technology. You should hire me so I can obtain an entry-level position in the field of information technology, where I can utilize my knowledge and skills in the field that I am in. I am passionate, hardworking, and most of all, optimistic. To know more about me, you can visit my resume link, kathleenannpangilinan.jobs180.com. Thank you.
O, kita nyo na, ang bilis lang, di ba? Yung video na yan, 30 seconds lang yan. Okay, to be exact, 36 seconds to be exact. So, in that 36 seconds, it's going to be very efficient. Hindi lang sa part na HR, kundi sa part nyo rin. Because let me tell you something. Ito ay open secret na to. Okay? Hindi to kalokohan. Sa totoo lang, ba't kayo tinatawagan ng mga HR pag nag-submit kayo ng mga application nyo? Kaya kayo tinatawagan kasi na-catch mo attention nila. Yan yung good news. Na-catch mo attention. And the reason why they're calling you is they wanted to check lang or evaluate your communication skills. Now, the video, I'm not saying it's an English video. Okay, so but if you can speak in English, it will be better. I recommend. Kasi yan yung kadalasan chine-check nila. Pero hindi ko sinasabi na dapat English all the way. Kung nahirapan ka, nosebleed ka sa ka-English, just be yourself. Ang importante, napapakita mo how you present yourself in front of a person. Or in this case, at least in front of a camera. At yan ang dahilan ba't kayo tinatawagan ng mga HR. They wanted to go to the next step. So wag niyo na patagalin. Wag niyo na antayin yung mahirap pa mag-schedule, tatawagan kayo, ang busy ng phone nyo, minsan nagiring, walang sumasagot, nasagot naman, may ginagawa kayo, maingay yung background, may kumakalanching, may nag-online class, parang dito, narinig yung background ko, may nag-online class, minsan may tumitilawak na manok, minsan, di ba, ang dami eh. So, huwag nyo nang patagalin. Kaya ko nire-recommend, create those selfie videos and whatever you're showing, hindi lang siya about communication skills. I've seen videos, they showcase hard skills. Pinakita nila paano magtupi ng table napkin, 'di ba? Para may mga shape na ganun, sa restaurant. They showcase paano mag-set up ng laptop. They showcase kung paano gumamit ng soldering iron. Pinakita nila yung skills paano magamit ng welding machine. Marami kayong pwedeng pakita through that selfie video and you can create multiple selfie videos and upload it there so that the HR, when they watch it, makita na nila kagad ano yung mga hinahanap nila sa isang aplikante at hindi na tayo tatagal. Because dalawa lang ang pwede niyan eh. Pasado at hindi pasado. Pag pasado, definitely you get the next call, probably job offer or final interview. Hindi pasado, edi alam na natin, walang tawag, 'di ba? Next applicant na. O 'di ba? So, yan yung gusto ko i-share sa inyo. Ganun na yung trend right now in the new normal. Especially we're doing everything virtual and we've been doing this for more than a year na since we started the pandemic. Lahat virtual na, so we're all adjusting. Okay? Ano pang maganda sa resume link? Ang maganda is meron tayong profile picture. Sa profile picture, hindi naman kailangan sobrang formal na formal. Wala kayo gumastos. Huwag na kayo pumunta sa studio para magpa-picture. Ang gawin mo lang, tumingin ka sa camera. Of course, wear something decent. Sa mga lalaki po, magsuot kayo ng may collar. At may damit din. Mamaya collar lang suot nyo. Dapat may damit din. Okay, plain background, tingin sa camera. Okay? Wag na kayo pumunta sa studio. Wag na kayo gumastos. Okay? Wag na yung mga Photoshop. Yung mga pinapakita ko sa right side ng screen, yan yung wag nyo gagawin. Yung naka-edit, may mga cartoon character, may groupie dyan, di ba? Iba-ibang kasama mo. Hindi po yan professional tignan. Okay? Ano pang recommend ko dito sa resume link para maging complete ang information nyo, you also have to put your cover photo. Now, a picture paints 1,000 words. Yan ang madalas na kasabihan na narinig natin. Now, that is so true here. Very, very true with the resume link. A picture paints 1,000 words. Pasintabi sa matatamaan. Hindi lahat na nakikinig ngayon ay gifted with writing skills. May iba sa atin dito, hirap na hirap i-express ang ating thoughts and feelings into words. Hindi mo siya maisulat, hindi mo siya mai-type. Bakit? Hindi siya natural para sa atin. Hindi natin nakasanayan na magsulat. No, yung mga iba magaling magsulat, so okay lang. Good for you. Yung mga ibang hindi magaling magsulat, what can you do? What you can do now is you can now use pictures to showcase your personality. Diba? Kagaya ng pinapakita ko, tignan mo yung nasa kaliwa ng screen nyo. Yan ay isang ophthalmologist. Sabi ni iba, eye expert. O pwede na rin, no? Optometrist o kung ano man. No? Sabi ni iba, mapilosopo. Sir, baka siya yung pasyente. O depende na kung paano nyo interpret. The one on the right side of the screen, this is someone who is from admin. Sabi ni iba, ay sir, parang mateki yata to or makalat. O depende how, again, you interpret. No? Another one, I'll show you. This is a good example. This is someone from psychology or someone from neurologies. Diba? Ayan, simple lang. Or makulay ang buhay niya. Makulay ang pag-iisip niya. Pwedeng ganun. Another good example is this one. Hindi ito miyembro ng Akyat Bahay Gang. Ito po ay nagpapakita na there is no shortcut to success. Ang gusto niya sabihin is, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Ayan, kung nababasa nyo, yan ang nakasulat sa kanya. So there is no shortcut to success. You'll be able to reach your goal by taking one step at a time. See, ang dami ko nasabi, pero sa totoo lang, isang picture lang pinakita niya. Kaya ako nga sinabi sa inyo, a picture paints 1,000 words. So I leave it up to you kung paano mo gagawin yung mga cover photo nyo. Okay, you have to be creative na lang and do this. At least I showed you some inspiration na may idea kayo kung paano gagawin. Okay? Pwede nyo ito palit-palitin no? Kung ano, depende sa mood nyo, kung anong gusto nyo ilagay. Okay? Now, kung nagpakita ko ng maganda example, magpapakita rin ako ng mga hindi maganda example. So, kagaya nito, huwag kayong magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay, lalaki man, babae, in between, membro ng LGBTQ, no problem. Ilagay mo dyan lahat. Lagay mo picture mo. Okay, lahat pwede. Alam niyo kung bakit? Ako mismo guilty ako dyan. Okay, hindi ako membro ng LGBTQ. Membro lang ako ng mga hindi alam ko ano bang kasarian ko because of my name. Okay, if I only put my name here, my name is Kim, a lot of people think babae ako most of the time. No? And I encountered resumes ng mga aplikante. Na ako rin mismo, naguluhan din ako kung lalaki ba o babae. Nakita ko dati Joey, nakita ko Chris, nakita ko Sam. Yan, di ba? Nakita ko Nick. Di ba? Yan, so, di ba? Meron nga ako recently na interview aplikante, pangalan niya George. So I was thinking the whole time lalaki siya until nung nakita ko yung selfie video, nagulat ako. Di ba? Babae pala, yung George na i-interviewin ko. See? So I recommend you put your picture there para at least wala nang gulatan. Magkaalaman na kung lalaki ba babae. Okay? Ayan lang naman ang mga pinapakita kong huwag nyo gagayahin. Another example pa, huwag nyo gagawin yung blanco. Kung blanco rin naman ang resume link nyo, walang picture, walang cover photo, walang any information, huwag na kayong gumawa. Huwag nyo na sayangin oras mo tsaka oras ng HR. Because if you do this and you submit this to a company, ang mapapayalan dito yung school ninyo. Remember, bit-bit mo palagi ang marka, ang tatak ng PUP. So wherever you go later on, wala tayong magagawa. Andyan na yung marka ng PUP. Okay? So you don't want companies to be saying, ay, ganito ba yung mga tinuturo sa school na yan? Of course, you don't want that to happen. So you better complete the information. Okay? One more example pag gusto ko ipakita na huwag nyo gagawin, yung over-creative naman. May iba kasi sabi nila para maging catchy daw, maghuli tayo ng atensyon. Huwag naman ganito yung gawin nyo. Kasi ganito, para sa akin lang to. This is just my opinion. Ang dating dito parang tamad. Ang dating parang OA or parang chill-chill lang to, no? Parang walang pakil sa buhay, no? Hindi man lang naka-face mask, no? Hayaan mo na yung mga tao dyan sa paligid. Again, this is just my opinion. Okay? So, I showed you good examples and not so good examples para you'll be guided. Okay? Now, let's focus on the good example. Ito yung magandang example, si ophthalmologist, yung eye expert. Lahat na information niya kumpleto. Kung mapapansin mo, ni-scroll down ko, lahat ng details na gusto makita ng isang HR, I would say 90-95% nandito na. Lahat ng attachment nilagay na rin niya as a proof na marunong talaga siya sa ginagawa niya. Okay? So, this one, at this point, will simplify the process. So, the next step na mangyari dito is either we proceed to the job offer, I hope, yun yung next step, or maybe final interview. Or kung kinakailangan pa, baka some other details na lang na mas nawala dito. Pero most probably, I would say 90% andyan na yan, ng information na yan. Now, at this point, I know what you're thinking. Yung mga nakikinig ngayon, nag-iisip na eh. Nako, Sir Kim, pag gumawa ba ako ng resume link, yung mga information ko ba nakakalat na sa buong mundo? Baka naman yung mga details ko nakalantad na sa buong internet. The answer is no. Kaya kung nga sinabi, di ba, ang resume link is dubbed as the most secured resume. This is the most secured tool in keeping your personal information. Bakit siya tinawag na the most secured platform? Because you control your privacy settings 100%. And how do you do that? Follow me dun sa next papakita ko. Okay? So follow the screen. If you log in, when you log in pala, you go to settings. Dun sa settings nyo, meron doong privacy settings. So pagpunta mo sa privacy settings, piliin mo yung information that you want to show or hide in public. Okay? Kayo mamimili niyan. Kayo may control. Hindi ako, hindi Jobson 80, hindi yung school, no one. Ikaw lang. No? Ikaw as an account owner. So example lang kung ayaw mo pakita birthday mo, you turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita address mo, turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita reference mo, turn it off. Ganun lang kasimple and save the profile. Okay? Now, the good thing also with the resume link is that updated siya real time. So pag sinabing real time, halimbawa lang, after 5 minutes na realize mo, uy, i-open ko na lang birthday ko, baka sakali batiin ako ng HR. Diba? So i-open mo yung birthday and then you save the profile. What happens next? Automatic real time. Lahat na binigyan mo ng resume link, updated na ang birthday mo. Okay? Let's say, 2 days later na-realize mo, sige, pakita ko na lang address ko. Baka sakali ma-consider ako ng company kasi malaman niya, malapit lang yung address ko dun sa ina-applyan ko. Baka lang. O baka kapitbahay ko yung HR. Basta po lang. So, tinurn on mo and then you save your profile. What happens next? Immediately after you save the profile, lahat na binigyan mo ng resume link, at one point in time, lahat sila, automatic, updated na rin sila nung address mo. Okay? So, whatever you do, you open or you hide, diba? You show or hide, basta sinave mo yung profile, updated siya real time. Ayos? Ayun. I hope ayos na. Okay, tuloy pa natin. Okay? Okay, reminders lang sa mga late dumating, ano na miss out nyo? 2 steps. Kasi last step na ipapakita ko eh. Okay, 3 steps lang to. The first step is for you to register. This is absolutely for free. Wala itong bayad. Okay, second step is the most logical of all the steps. Okay, you have to complete all the information. And in completing the information, make sure that the profile is interesting, it's attractive para makatch mo attention, at importante, updated na information nyo. Kasi kung nahuli mo yung attention ng HR at di ka makontak, wala rin. Sayang rin. Di ba? Okay, so let's go to the last step. Last step na po tayo. You have to submit your information. Later on, some of you will be looking for a job, no, through online. Some of you might be going to job fairs. You might be sending some emails. I don't know, marami kayong pwede ma-explore. May mga kaibigan kayo nagre-refer sa inyo, may magandang trabaho. You can use etong resume link sa lahat ng options na yan. So papakita ko sa inyo iba-ibang option. Okay? Pag kayo ay ready na mag-submit ng inyong information, anong pwedeng gawin? First, okay? First option, pumunta kayo sa school portal nyo, itong career portal nyo. Okay, so go to schools.jobs180.com/pup and you will see companies here listed. Okay, you can shop around. May mga pang OJT dyan, may pang full-time position. Okay, kung nabitin kayo, punta kayo sa www.jobs180.com. Okay, you want to look for Alorica. Shout out lang ako, ha. You want to look for Concentrix, you want to look for Alorica, you want to look for eBar. They're all here. They're all here. Okay, so you just check. Okay, well, by the way, if you want to search for resume links, you cannot do that. Hindi siya searchable. Hindi siya kapag nag-type ako example sa search, di ba may search bar dyan eh. Pag tinype ko dyan, halimbawa, Mark, okay, walang mangyayari because hindi searchable ang resume link. Pero pag tinype ko yung Mark sa Facebook or sa social media account, probably I'll end up, I think, with a few 100,000 marks. Di ba? So dito, hindi siya searchable. Now, if you're looking for a company, example lang, you're looking for eBar, type their eBar. Okay, type their Innodata. Because that's their sister company. Type there, sabi mo, Alorica. Type there, Alorica. Okay, you see there. Okay, pag may lumabas, edi meron. Pag wala lumabas, edi wala. Ganun lang kasimple. Okay, wag natin pilitin. Pag wala talaga. Okay? Later on, baka meron. Okay? So you just explore for companies. Now, one thing I want to highlight dito sa portion na to, okay, probably, ito yung tip na hindi nyo pa naririnig sa kahit na kaninong tao. Ako lang magsasabi so far. So far, ito sasabihin ko sa inyo. Kung meron kang nakitang kumpanya na gusto mong pasukan, meron kang nakitang trabaho, gusto mong applyan, kahit na hindi ka pa qualified. Okay, let me repeat that. Okay, you see a company, you see a position that you want to be a part of, that you want to work for, even if you're not yet qualified, I recommend bigay mo resume link mo. Submit mo resume link mo doon sa company. Kahit na obvious hindi ka papasa today, bigay mo resume link mo. Bakit? Let me use an example. Example lang, gamitin ko na yung mga speakers nyo kanina. Example, you have Alorica, you see eBar. eBar na lang, eBar naman, okay? So you see eBar. Sabi ni eBar, kailangan niya 5 years of experience. Or whatever position. They need someone with 5 years of experience. Example lang. Right now, obvious na obvious, wala ka pang 5 years of experience. Okay? Kahit pagsamahin mo yung summer job mo, yung internship nyo, if ever, kulang pa ng 5 years yung experience nyo. So, what's the point in submitting an information or resume link kung hindi ka naman papasa today? I'll tell you the logic. Nakita mo yung position, nakita mo yung kumpanya, gusto mo pasukan, bigay mo resume link mo ngayon. Ano mangyayari? Antayin mo later on pagdating ng 2026. Sigurado naman ako aabot yung 2026 eh. Kasi last year 2020, this year 2021, and I'm sure next year 2022. Okay? So pagdating ng 5 years later, okay, sa 2026, baka lang by that time, meron ka ng 5 years of experience. Kung ngayon nag-start ka mag-work. Okay? And kung freshman ka ngayon, then probably you have to wait until 2029. Okay? By the time 2029 comes, nag-match yung profile mo dun sa company kasi meron ka ng 5 years of experience, pwede ka na makontak nung HR. Real time. So anytime nag-update ka ng information mo, kahit na wala pa yung 5 years of experience, you never know, other companies might match yung profile ninyo at pwede na kayo kontakin. See? Yan yung reason why I am saying, kung meron kang resume link, gamitin mo na, submit mo na, regardless kung pasado ka or hindi, qualified ka or hindi dun sa company gusto mong pasukan. Okay? Next, marami sa inyo nag-email. And I know for a fact, you know how to email for sure. So I won't tell you how to send an email. Ang gusto ko sabihin is, when you send an email, paano ka mag-send ng resumes? Do you attach your document? Is this how you do it? Do you say, "Dear HR manager, I'd like to apply for the following position and this is my resume." Ano gagawin mo next? I-attach mo yung Word file mo, PDF file mo, or whatever file, doc file mo. Is that how you do it? If that is how you're doing it, ang tawag dyan, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Hindi ko sinabing mali. Sabi ko lang, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Bakit? Hindi mo kailangan mag-attach ng anything. Pag meron kang resume link, i-type mo lang. Dear HR Manager, diba? I'd like to apply for the following position and this is my resume. Lagay mo lang doon. Example, what you're seeing in my screen. Antonio Juan de la Cruz, jobs.it.com. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you. Send. Tapos na. Ganun lang kasimple. The person who opens the email obviously has internet connection. So ang gagawin lang niya, pagbukas niya ng email, click lang niya yung link. Pag click na yung link, it opens now to your resume link and your profile. And whatever you want to attach, you don't put it in the email. Okay, you don't put it in the email. You attach it inside the resume link. So lahat ng may resume link mo, palit-palit ka lang ng attachment mo, whatever information, add ka lang ng add, lahat ng may resume link, they just keep on seeing lahat na gusto mo i-show in public. Ayos? Oh, ayos na. Tuloy pa natin. Isa pang option. Sabi ng iba sa inyo, pwede ba ako mag-print? Ayan. Yan ang good news. Pwede ka mag-print. If you want to apply to a company at gusto mo may hawak kang papel, pwede mo to gawin. You can print your resume link. At ang good news ko sa inyo, the system will try to compress everything. Lahat. Compress na lahat ng information mo into one page. So mamimili ka lang kung 1 column or 2 column version. Okay? Either way, the system will try to compress everything into one page para maginhawa. Kung gusto mo mag-print, maginhawa sa bulsa. Hindi yung 2-3 pages ang isang set ng resume. Mahal din mag-print. Alam niyo naman, di ba? Mahal din mag-print. Okay? So, kung gusto mo lang mag-print. Now, ito recommend ko. Ito yung makabagong paraan. Kung gusto mo makatipid and at the same time, kailangan mo ng printed resume, ito gawin mo. Gumawa ka ng tinatawag na resume link card. Yes, resume link card. Parang business card. Okay? So, I'll show another example. Para makita mo. Yan. So, anong mangyari? In one piece of paper, long bond or short bond paper, you can create multiple sets of cards. Kayo na mag-design. Kayo na bahala mag-design. So sa isang short bond paper, I think you can make 10 sets of cards. Okay, long bond, probably you'll end up with 15 sets of cards or 16 sets of cards. So what do you do next is that you put the information in that small piece of paper. But you don't put everything there. Ang lagay mo lang doon, resume link mo. At saka syempre pangalan mo. Ganun lang kasimple. Okay? Then you give that to the company. Okay, now, bakit ko yan nire-recommend? Maliban sa tipid, obvious naman kung bakit tipid, di ba? Gets mo na. Is mas secured yung data nyo. Bakit mas secured? If you submit a short bond paper or a long bond paper to a company with your printed resume, what happens next? Kung nilipad ng hangin yan, for some reason, nilipad ng hangin, may nakapulot. Yung nakapulot ng papel na yan, alam na buong detalye nyo. Because everything is printed in your one page na resume. Diba? Or 2 pages na resume nyo. Pero kung nawala mo yung maliit na papel, nawala mo yung maliit na card, no? Nawala, nilipad ng hangin, may nakapulot, kampante ka, meron kang peace of mind. Diba? Bakit? Kasi yung information na makita ng tao depends on your privacy settings. So you can change the settings real time. So it's really up to you. You control lahat na information mo. Ayos? O, tuloy pa natin. Alam ko marami kitang tanong ngayon. Tuloy, mamaya, sasagutin natin yan. Okay, tapusin natin to. Another thing I want to show you is you can use the gadgets to your advantage. Yung technology ngayon, gamitin nyo. Kung meron kayong smartphone, laptop, tablets, whatever you have, use it. Huwag ka na mag-print. Sayang ang pera sa papel. Okay, sayang. Sa totoo lang, some of us sa HR, we just shred them or sometimes we just throw them. Okay, so huwag mo na gamitin yung print version hanggat maaari. Use gadget to your advantage. Okay? Now, kung wala naman kayong gadget, huwag nyo akong gawin dahilan para magbili ng gadget. Baka sabihin nyo sa mga magulang nyo, Mami, Daddy, sabi ni Sir Kim, yung speaker namin, kailangan ko yung latest phone right now para daw makahanap akong trabaho. Hindi ko sinabi yun. Okay? Sinasabi ko lang is kung meron, gamitin ang technology to your advantage. Kung wala tayong gadget, no problem. Basta meron kang resume link, kung nakagawa ka ng resume link, you can write it on those registration forms. Right? Kung pumunta ka sa mga kumpanya, parang contact tracing lang yan, di ba? Dami hihingi. Name, email, phone number, address, course, gender, height, weight, postal code. You don't have to write the whole thing. Just write there your name and your resume link. That's it. That's it. Why? Because whoever has your resume link can type it naman sa browser and they can see it. At yung information, kontrolado yung anong information papakita mo. Okay? So let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up na. Go back tayo sa checklist. I mentioned earlier, nung hindi naglo-load yung screen ko, ito yung mga checklist ko. Okay? So I hope makarelate kayo this time. First, are you using the right tool? Para malaman natin if you're using the right tool, check natin yung privacy settings. Kayo ba ang may ultimate control ng privacy settings mo? With the resume link, kayo. Wala nang iba. Ikaw lang may control niyan, 100%. So you turn it on, turn it off, depende sa settings nyo. Second, will the speed of hire becomes faster? Yes, it will definitely become faster and more efficient. Kasi lahat na info kailangan mo ibigay sa isang kumpanya, lahat ng gusto makita ng isang HR, pwede mo na ipasok sa loob ng resume link nyo. Okay? Dagdag bawas, depende sa inyo. Flexibility in terms of printing out, nandyan na rin. If you want to have a printed version of your resume link, pwede mo siya i-print anytime. Hindi mo kailangan magawa ng resume link na, tapos meron ka pang Word file, doc file, hindi kailangan. In fact, ito recommend ko. Kung meron kang doc file or PDF file or other files, what you can do is you can just attach it sa loob ng resume link mo. Diba? So when you give that to the company, yung resume link mo, they open your resume link, they will see an attachment which is your doc file or PDF file or Word file. So depende kung anong gusto mo i-attach. That way, it will be more secured. Parang double layer yung security nyo. O, diba? Ano pang pinaka-importante? Wala tong gastos. Libre po ito. Okay, mukha lang akong salesman pero wala akong binibenta sa inyo. Libre po itong tool na ito. At sa mga piloso po na humihirit, sir, kailangan po namin ng load. Kailangan namin ng pang Wi-Fi, no? Pang internet. Yes, I know, kailangan mo pang data. So, yes, you have to spend for that. Pero pwede ka rin naman mag-connect sa internet na libre. Okay? Baka lang yung kapitbahay nyo, may libreng Wi-Fi, 'di ba? Maki-connect ka muna. 'Di ba? Baka yung friend mo diyan, pwede maki-share mo na, maki-tetrek ka muna, 'di ba? Share ng konti, 'di ba? Pwede na 'yan. Bawi-bawi lang 'yan. Dito pa may trabaho ka na, bayaran mo yung internet niya, 'di ba? Bilang mo pa ng cellphone. Sabi mo, 'yan, bilang pagtulong mo sa akin. No? 'Di ba? So, sa panahon 'yun, give and take lang 'yan. Okay? So, ang gusto ko lang point out, wala tong bayad. Okay? So, maximize the resources, maximize the tool, use the resume link. Okay? Marami pa tong benefits. You want to share it sa iba-ibang platform? Pwede. Gusto mo i-text? Pwede mo i-share yung resume link mo. Gusto mo siya i-share through Messenger, through other things, through other platform, pwede mo siya gawin yan through email. Kayo bahala. Kayo may control sino bibigyan mo ng resume link. You don't have to save it sa USB or hard drive. Baka mawala pa yan. Baka makorrupt pa yan. O may pa ibang makakuha ng information nyo. So, wag mo na yan gawin. Okay? Wala rin tong problema sa compatibility issue sa mga whatever version you're using, Android, Safari, or iOS. Walang issue sa versions. Okay? Ayan. So, shout out lang ako sa lahat ng school partners natin. Right now, we have more than 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, including your alma mater. So, nagpapasalamat tayo kay Ma'am Jane. Thank you po kay Engineer Oquindo for arranging this activity and for us to be able to educate itong tool na ito sa inyo. Okay? Kayo naman, I hope it doesn't stop here. Kung meron kayong kaibigan, meron kayong mga kamag-anak na sa tingin ninyo, makakatulong itong tool na ito, then I recommend you share this also to them. Okay? Share the knowledge. It might help other people, especially in this time. Okay? So, some of you might have questions and these are the questions that are commonly asked. So, sagutin ko na yung mga common questions para matanggal na natin. Kasi in case na may tanong pa kayo, ibang set of questions na yan. So, unang tanong sa akin parati, pwede ko bang gamitin ang resume link sa mga kumpanya na hindi naman kilala yung jobs180.com? Ang sagot is yes. As long as they know your resume link. And that will only happen if you give it to them. Diba? Even if alam ni Sir JP from Concentrix ang resume link, alam nila ang Jobs 180, if you don't give your resume link to Sir JP, then how will Sir JP see your profile? Diba? Same goes with the rest of the other companies, for eBar or for Alorica. You have to be able to submit it to them. Okay? Next question. Is it the same as other job platform? Kagaya ng LinkedIn, kagaya ng JobStreet? No, the answer is no. May dalawang major na pagkakaiba. Okay, with respect to JobStreet, because sometimes mas kilala si JobStreet. So, if you have a JobStreet resume, para lang ma-compare nyo, kung meron kang JobStreet na resume, pwede mo lang yan gamitin sa mga kumpanya na gumagamit din ng JobStreet. Pag hindi siya gumagamit ng JobStreet, hindi mo na pwede gamitin yung JobStreet na resume mo. Pero kung gamit mo ay resume link, pwede mo to gamitin kahit na kanino, kahit sa ibang bansa pa yan. Basta may internet connection at alam niya ang resume link mo. And you have to give it to them. Okay? Second difference, kung meron kang JobStreet na resume, pag nabigay mo na yan sa isang HR, wala ka nang pwedeng baguhin at least in the 30-day period. Touch move na yan. Lahat ng info mo nandun na sa HR. Okay? Wala ka nang pwedeng baguhin. Walang dagdag bawas. With your resume link, pwede mo palit-palitin anytime, real time. Diba? 1 minute later, 5 minutes later, 2 days later, you just keep on changing those information. Okay? So those are the two major differences. The third question, I think, is the easiest question. Can I keep my information secured using the resume link? I hope the answer is yes. I spent so much time trying to convince you, and I hope by this time na-convince ko na kayo na itong tool, itong resume link, ang pinaka-secured na platform pagdating po sa keeping ng personal information nyo. The fourth question is the most important question. Gaano kadalas ina-update ang resume link? Hindi siya araw-araw, hindi siya linggo-linggo or taon-taon or buwan-buwan. Ang sagot dyan is every time na meron kang babaguhin, especially your contact details. Yan ang pinaka-importante. Okay, yung contact details nyo. Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, na-promote ka na lahat-lahat, nilagay mo lahat ng mga development mo sa career mo, pag hindi ka makontak ng HR, wala ring kwenta. So importante na kontak ka ng HR, okay, ng company. And the last question is just a trivia. Trivia lang yan. Sa mga nag-iisip sa inyo, Sir, bakit siya tinawag na jobs180.com? Kaya siya tinawag na 180, okay, jobs180.com, kasi we want to turn your life around 180 degrees. Oh, yung mga iba nag-iisip ngayon, paano nangyari yun? Di ba dapat 360? Oh, mali. Pag 360, bumalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. So, ikot ka lang ikot. Walang mangyayari, di ba? Balik ka lang ng balik kasi 360 yun. Balik ka lang ng balik. So, you have to go to a straight line, which is a 180 degree. And that is straight line towards your career goal. Okay? Now, just in case may tanong pa kayo, nahiya kayo magtanong, pag nag-open forum tayo, mayroon kayong gustong tanongin, you can go to our website, email us or email here sa info@jobs180.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram to get the latest trends. Again, my name is Kim Chu. Don't forget yung Wa. Okay? Isang magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Now, at this point, if we have time, I'd like to change the dynamics lang. You can ask me anything. Okay? As an applicant, and me as an HR, I can also address those questions. And me as an applicant, I can also share to you yung mga kalokohan ng isang aplikante or ng isang HR. So at this point, thank you again for listening. If you have questions, the floor is open. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sir Kim. So the floor is open now for our Q&A portion. So guys, can you give a heart clap or a heart reaction to Sir Kim? Job well done, sir.
Thank you po. Thank you po, ma'am.
Apo. So guys, pwede na po kayong magtanong at maki-interact sa ating speaker for today. Okay? Ang daming nag-heart, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Ako rin. Heart. Maraming heart. Okay. I see a question, ma'am. Hindi yata question.
Yeah, sir,
meron
apo.
nga.
May takeaways. Yes, apo. So, Sir
Sabi
Angelo po.
Sige, sorry. Akala ko ako magko-comment. Ako na magko-comment, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Sige.
Okay,
You
sabi
can
ni
do
Sir
so.
Angelo, shout out to Sir Angelo. My takeaways, sabi niya, I will use the guest speaker presentation about profile picture and cover pic of social media. How to do resume for my personal growth to my friends, family and classmates. So just takeaways. Okay, thank you. At least meron kang takeaway. O, di ba? Thank you. Yeah, I see you there, sir.
Okay.
Meron ba kayong mga
Thank
tanong?
you, sir. Thank you, Sir Noel. So, guys, pwede na pong magtanong. The floor is open now for our Q&A portion.
Feel free to ask me anything. Okay? Because this time, I want to change the dynamics. No? Imbis ako yung salita ng salita, share ng share, gusto ko rin marinig yung thoughts nyo. You might, have something that you want to ask. At ako rin, di ba? Parang hindi naman malayo yung generation ko sa inyo, knowing that you are freshmen. From what my understanding, you are still in your freshman years. So I hope makarelate din ako sa mga nangyayari ngayon. Ayan, maliban kay BTS. Okay? So let me know. Do you have questions? Para auction lang to, sige kayo. Pana-auction tayo, matatapos na to. Pana-auction tayo, ano yan Going once. Ayan, pahabain natin. Going twice. Wala talaga gusto magtanong. Okay.
Sir, may nag-raise ng
Meron. Okay, sorry, hindi ko nakita yung kamay. Sir Nico, yes.
Sir Nico. Sir Nico, sir.
Hello
Okay, you can
Rinig
unmute
po.
your phone. Yes, sir. Audible now.
Okay po. So, good morning po. I am Nico po, broadcasting student po of PP College of Communication po. So, given the pandemic situation po, most of us students are now anxious of graduating purely online. My question po is that when we apply po for companies, well, they consider graduating purely online as fortunately an asset, or is it for them actually a weakness for future graduates like me if we opt to apply for jobs that needs practical skills? I mean, take for example in our
Yeah, I
case,
get
media
you.
students who should have learned editing, how to
Yeah.
operate camera, how to do productions and the likes, who graduated purely online. Will our situation make it harder for us to be hired because we are less immersed into face-to-face application of our skills, or not so naman po?
Okay, thank you for that question. Yeah, parang beauty contest na to. Thank you for the wonderful question, Sir Nico. I'm glad that you raised that question because I think that's the same sentiment that goes with a lot of your batchmates. Not only for your course but as well as for other courses na specific to kailangan ng hard skills na learning, no? If you're into technical like mechanical engineering, if you're into IT na kailangan talaga may hands-on, if you're into aeronautics, diba? How do you learn how to fly an aircraft virtually and then just put it out there para ka nag-video game lang, bahala na pag ka na sa totoong aeroplano. So I get yung sentiment mo because ako I never had to go through that because back in my days talagang lahat may hands-on, di ba? Whatever yung course mo, like may mga OJT tayo at practicum or practical application. Now, to answer your question in a very straightforward manner, right now, and moving forward to right now, I would say fortunate and unfortunately, okay, doon tayo sa fortunate part. Sa fortunate part, kayo yung first few batches na natamaan nitong virtual learning, virtual graduation, virtual OJT or virtual practicum because wala talagang choice ng face-to-face, walang physical. That I would say is the fortunate side. Why? Because if you think about the next coming batches, the next coming years, we don't know how long this pandemic will be, especially in the Philippine scenario. I'm not putting down our government, pero I think we are one of the longest. We have one of the longest lockdown. If I just use the word lockdown, no, na in this pandemic, no, while other countries are already moving kung ano man yung ginagawa nila, some of them, we see naman nag-UFC na, nanonood na ng NBA, 'di ba? Nagtatalsikan na yung mga lawin nila sa cheer sa mga fans nila or club nila. Tayo, ganun pa rin. Ni sinihan nga, hindi natin kumain nga sa restaurant, di pa mabuksan, 'di ba? Hindi nga magkaroon ng buffet and all that. So I don't know how long this will be. To tell you honestly, I'm giving you a very straightforward answer in the case of Philippines lalo na. And the virus continues to evolve, 'di ba? Hindi lang I don't know, baka umabot na tayo sa wag naman, no? Sana mag-end na sa Delta kasi I don't know kung ilang letters pa umabot tayo hanggang Z, 'di ba? From Alpha all the way to sa Zulu, 'di ba? Ayaw natin ganoon mangyari. Pero I really don't know. Only God can tell how long this pandemic will be. So, the fortunate side there is kayo yung mga first few batches na nandito sa batch na graduate ng ganito ang experience, virtual and everything. So, why did I say fortunate on that part? Because later on, whatever you're doing, you'll be setting that as an example and companies continue to hire, continue to replace people. Sorry, when I say replace meaning people retire. People, of course, face at the end of their career, they get replaced by newer bloods, diba? Kayo yun, mga freshmen, pasok ng pasok, newbies. So, the newer bloods come in, bringing all this experience, kayo yung first ever batch na yan. Diba? Na first few batches na may ganyan. So, if I put it in an HR scenario, ito yung totoo. We also have no choice later on but to adapt. Diba? Kasi kung lahat ng tao na may experience, na may practicum, wala na, naurong or na-hire na may ibang mga kumpanya. Sino pa i-hire ko? Di syempre i-hire ko ngayon yung mga next type of, kumbaga, new normal environment na. Yan na yun. Or new normal background na. So yan yun. Now, the unfortunate side of it is, yun na yun. I have also to break you the news then, no? The flip side of it. The flip side of it is, the unfortunate part is, pag if and when bumalik nga tayo the soonest time, everyone gets vaccinated, meron tayong herd immunity, but I don't see that happening anytime soon again, no? Pero kung mangyari man yan bigla, then kayo yung batch na naipit. Yan yung reality. No? Parang kayo yung batch na oops, nag-graduate ng the batch before you graduated online, and then probably kayo rin yung batch na hindi naka-experience ng mga OJT and all that. I'm not saying that as a disadvantage. Ulitin ko lang I'm not saying that as a disadvantage. I'm saying it is how will you take it moving forward? Because kayo yung batch na naka-experience ng ganyan. Okay? So you have two things you can do right now. One, you just let people pass you by, let time fly by because time will never change. Time is a constant change, 'di ba? Sabi nga, it's a constant thing. So it will just parang kanta ni Jose Marichan yun. So 'di ba parang yan, dumadaan lang yung panahon eh. It will never stop. So ang tanong is, what are you doing or what will you be doing? Will you just stand there and then just see what happens next, or will you take that action? Now I recommend you take the action. Kung meron tayong pwede matutunan right now sa virtual, let's learn from virtual platform. Okay? Marami akong mga ibang kakilala, ako rin personally, no? I never had this experience of virtual masyado. When this pandemic hit, I have to learn a lot of things virtually rin. 'Di ba? Itong mga Zoom na yan, even if I know virtual communication existed long before, no, panahon pa ng mga Skype, di ko alam niyo pa yung Skype, panahon pa ng mga economical, no, mga VoIP na sinasaksak pa yung mga magic jack sa telephone wire para makapag-usap ng tipid-tipid long distance. Ngayon libre lahat, 'di ba? Pag tumatawag basta may wifi. So matagal na may ganung technology, but the question is how are we adapting? Yan yung mas importanteng tanong. So you being in that batch, then I only see it as double-edged sword yan eh. Diba? One is you cannot do anything but accept the fact na right now we have IATF protocol, no face-to-face, no physical interview with companies. You mean, you're limited. But the other side of it, yung other flip side no, yung other sword mo is anong gagawin mo? Diba? You have to take that action. So, yan yung masasabi ko, no? That's my as honest as I can be and as transparent as I can be. I'm not going to give you false hopes. I won't tell you, I would sweeten my answers to make sure na lahat kayo happy. But I hope you take that answer as something to move forward to. Lahat tayo nandito tayo sa scenario na yan. So, ayun lang. Yun lang sa akin. You have other questions. So, I hope may iba kayong question. Or I hope nasagot ko yung tanong mo, Sir Nico.
Yes po, thank you po.
Sorry, meron pa ka palang tanong. How will companies take, di ba? So, hindi ko rin masagot lahat ng companies. Some companies na kailangan talaga ng hard skills, I think, you are at a disadvantage. If they really need the hard skills, hard experience, no, kailangan nila tao na marunong talaga magpalipad ng eroplano. They cannot just hire someone who learned flying from virtual. O yan. But if you're in the field na pwede naman yung skills naman is
Oh, mukhang nagkaroon ng technical problem si Sir Kim ah. Sir Kim? Mukhang siya ang ayan, wait lang ha. Ayan. Sir Kim? Mukhang nawala. Natuluyan siya ng internet, guys. So, hintayin lang natin siya makabalik saglit. At nawala siya sa linya niya. Okay, I hope everyone do have the, your takeaway na sa sa event na ito. Hintayin natin si Sir Kim para makabalik, kung makakabalik siya. Para matapos niya yung dinidiscuss niya about dun sa tanong ni Sir Nico. Okay. Wait lang. Shout out tayo sa ating mga participants from the stream participants and our Zoom participants who are still with us today. So later, mamayang hapon, meron pa po tayo with our Alorica and microgenesis.com. So meron pa tayong mga susunod na speaker at industry sponsors later. Okay, so wala pa siya. Ayun, nandito na ulit siya. So, mukhang ito ang problema natin once na naka-virtual tayo. Internet and no one can get away from this. Diba? Alam natin yun, lahat tayo nakakaranas ng problema lalo na sa technical at yun yung mga bagay na inevitable. Okay, Sir Kim? Sir? Mukhang nag-i-stable pa siya ng internet, guys. Okay, so handa nyo na yung sarili nyo, handa nyo na yung sarili nyong mga questions para at least mamaya pagbalik ni Sir Kim, pwede natin siyang tuningin na ng marami. And by the way, guys, the link for evaluation form for your digital certificate is already posted at the Zoom chat and it will be also posted sa FB page ng PUP Career Center. Okay, Sir Kim, you're in na po
Sorry.
ba?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, sir.
Sorry.
You're back. It's
Dami
good
kong
to be
sinasabi.
back.
Sabi ko, uy, wala na pala ako. Wala nang kausap.
Yun sana problema natin sa internet.
Yes,
Once na... At ito yung bagay na inhibitable pagdating sa virtual world.
Ayun na.
Okay,
So,
sir.
kailangan talaga may backup. Oo. Yes, sorry. I hope nasagot ko yung tanong ni Sir Nico kanina. Narinig ba niya?
Yes.
Ayun. Oo. Baka may tanong pa kayo. Sige lang, go.
Okay, so Nico, okay ka na sa tanong niya? Ay, okay ka na sa sagot ni sir? Naliwanagan ka na? You're enlightened na? Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Nico. Guys, meron pa po bang gustong magtanong daw kay Sir Kim as an HR? By the way, I guess all of you is of legal age na. At alam ko na most of you maghahanap ng trabaho. So it is the best way or it's the best time to ask our HR para meron kayong konting tips pagdating in landing, not just landing for your dream job, but also providing for your family kung magkakaroon kayo ng isang trabaho.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
I know.
Ask
Yes,
anything.
kahit ask anything daw. Pag nila daw hanapin si Sian Lim sa kanya.
Oh, wala talaga.
Oo ha, yun lang naman. Wag niyo lang daw hahanapin. Siya si Kim Chu hindi Kim Chu. Okay, guys? May tanong pa po ba tayo?
Ito yata yung first batch na encounter ko mga PUP na medyo shy type pa.
Yes, sir. Mukhang sila yon. Sila yung batch. Kasi normally, matanong talaga sila at interested.
nga.
Mukhang sila, hindi sila masyadong
Sige, pag ayaw nyo akong
nagtatanong pa.
tanungin, ako magtatanong sa inyo. Ayan. Sige, try nyo sagutin itong tanong
Ayun,
ko.
sir. May
meron?
nagtanong na. Si Sir Angelo Noel.
Hindi siya question. Ano lang yata to?
Ay, questions. Okay. Apo, despite of some technical problem. Congratulations daw po.
Thank you, thank you.
Tingnan natin, sir, sa PUP Facebook page natin kung meron
sige.
tayong question.
Sige po. Habang hinahanap
wait
ni
lang,
Ma'am
ha?
Jane ang mga possible questions, I'll share to you some of the questions I asked in an actual interview. Try to figure out. There's no right and wrong answer here, but these are some of the questions I normally ask. No? So I'll ask them, if you have a chance to go to the moon, okay, pupunta ka sa buwan, but you can only bring one passenger. Isa lang pwede mo bitbitin. Who will that be and why? Yan ang una kong tanong. Okay, so try to answer that question. You don't have to type it. Okay, just try to, if you're listening lang, if you can hear me, try to find an answer to that question. Okay, pag may sagot na kayo, bibigyan kita ng follow-up question. The follow-up question is, after you reach your destination, which is yung moon, yung buwan, no, hypothetically nasa buwan na kayo, you can only come back with one person lang. So who would that be? Will that be you, or will that be that person that you brought there? Again, there's no right and wrong question here, but these are some of the questions I would ask to check lang basically kung paano magbago yung ihip ng hangin, because sometimes you would like to bring someone na super close to you, di ba? Someone that you love, someone na maybe your parent, one of your parents. Sometimes nga pag sabi mo, I'd like to bring my mom. Sometimes yun ang unang tanong, kawawa naman yung dad. Diba? Bakit si mami lang? Diba? Or sometimes sabihin nila, boyfriend ko. Paano kung iiwanan natin, di ba? Ayun pala yung dahilan para talagang dalhin siya doon, para iwan din, no? So sometimes I would, ask those questions. Another question I will ask na minsan dinadaan ko na lang sa biro is, kung ang pwede bang gamitin pang merienda, tsaka pang dinner, tsaka pang breakfast, yung lunchbox. Yan. Sometimes I'll ask that question. So I know it's a pointless question, but sometimes the applicants they just freeze, no? Parang tipong they don't know what to answer. So pag may ganun kayong mga scenario, ang recommend ko lang is ride along. Okay? Go kung anong whatever comes into your mind, first thing that comes into your mind, just answer, 'di ba? Kasi ang mga HR, they will ask those questions to check for your kung how you'd be spontaneous with your answer and how you would think. Oh, sorry, may question ako nakita. Ayan. Okay, so
Okay.
mamaya share
Sir,
pa ko iba.
saka may question din. Apo, may isang question din. What is the worst resume mistake you ever seen?
Worst is
Yes.
yung walang laman. I mean, I don't even call it a resume or a CV or a biodata or whatever you want to call it, no? Kung walang laman eh. Di ba nagsubmit ka, pangalan lang nakalagay, walang any information pa, binuksan mo, may school, may course, walang laman, walang anything. So anong gagawin natin? Sometimes I'll ask them, wala ka bang ginawa anything? I mean, wala na bang anything na gusto i-share? I mean, you're from PUP, you're a graduate of example from broadcasting. Okay, I get that. So anong next? Anong gusto mo i-share? Maybe you want to share anything under the sun na walang connect sa academics. Diba? That's the next thing I would normally do sa interview. Okay? So I will still proceed to the interview. Don't get me wrong. I'll still proceed to the interview kahit na pangalan, course, and school lang nakalagay sa'yo. But as I move to the next other questions, I hope meron ka ng mababatong sagot. Diba? Like, why did you pick up your course as why did you pick up that as a course? What did you do in school? Diba? Would you consider yourself as someone from academics na mas magaling, academically inclined, or someone who is into extracurricular inclined? Diba? Parang ganun. So, may mga ganun ako I would ask. Pero, if you just submit some blanco lang talaga, as in pangalan lang, no, and nothing in there, don't expect that HR will be attracted to that kind of resume. Yun lang yung sa akin. So, you have to complete the information. Diba? Put their details. Yun yung sa akin. Walang skills,
Okay.
walang anything, so wala kang alam. Parang yun lang yun. Okay?
Paano naman daw, sir, pag walang experience?
Walang problem yung walang experience. Kasi, I cannot speak for all companies. Pero ako as an HR, this is how I view it. Kung hindi mo bibigyan ng pagkakataon yung walang experience, paano siya walang nawala ba ako?
Sir, hindi. Okay na.
Sorry.
Bumalik na, sir. Apo.
Okay. So, i-off ko cam ko. Yan. Baka lang mas malakas. Ayan. So, kung lahat ng fresh grad, never nabigyan ng chance na magkaroon ng experience, paano magkakaroon ng experience yung tao? So, that's my perspective. So, for me, regardless kung fresh grad, walang experience, or marami kang experience, and the experience, sabi nga ni Sir JP kanina, hindi naman sa dami ng pinasukan mong kumpanya eh. Kung hindi, gaano ka rin katagal nagstay sa bawat kumpanya at kung ano yung na-contribute mo dun sa company. Diba? And that's where the experience will come in. Will factor in. So in my case, ako walang problema. I look at kung anong pwede ma-contribute ng aplikante. But that, I cannot speak for all companies. Because some companies are very strict. They need, example, sa accounting, ganyan. Diba? They need someone with at least 2 years experience. They need to have someone who at least passed the CPA board exam. So yung mga ganung klaseng hard skills, hindi ko yun we have to follow. Kung ganun talaga yung ganun yung, or they need someone who is a graduate 4-year course. Diba? Those are the things. Kami in our company, I was able to hire before people with who only finish up to 2nd year high school. I don't mind, diba? Kasi importante what the person can contribute. And if you will never give the chance to that person, I don't think, diba, that person will be of equal of equal opportunity rin, diba? So yun yung sa akin. Let's give everyone a fair chance. At magkakaalaman naman tayo pag nagtrabaho na Hindi mo naman kailangan patagalin ng isang taon yung tao. Patrabahuin mo lang ng probably 1-2 months lang, magkakalabasan na yan. Skills, how the person will adapt to the environment, yung mga soft skills niya, lahat yan lalabas na yan. So from there, at least hindi ka nagkulang, diba? Yun. So I hope na-answer ko yung question, Ma'am Jane.
Okay, sir. Wait. Okay, sir. Sir, may tanong pang isa. Yung kanina, si Lawrence? Ay, sorry, I can't open the mic. So, from HR perspective, sir, factor po ba ang chance na matatanggap sa trabaho yung layo ng applicant sa trabaho? Nakita ko lang po kasi sa
Willing to
site yung
relocate.
willing to relocate an option.
Yep. Okay. This is where the secondary factors come in. So yung di ba una nga sabi ko, when we look at the profile of the information of the person, normally we focus on the skills, on what you can contribute to the company. Second factor dito, or hindi ko sabing second as in pangalawa, parang ito yung mga sumusunod secondary factors na is of course their location. Diba? The person could be very, very good, pero kung kailangan niya magbiyahe ng 2-3 oras araw-araw, we also have to look into the welfare of the person. Imagine, papunta ka pa lang, 2 hours na, uwi ka another 2 hours. Diba? So, yung 4 hours na yun could be more productive in other ways. Diba? And sometimes, yung 2 hours papunta pabalik, hindi na normal na yun sa atin, diba? With the, prior to the pandemic. Ngayon medyo maluwag lang. Pero, but it comes in, it's also a factor. Yun yung sa akin. Now, pero I'll tell you, depende sa trabaho. Meron kami na-hire na tao, taga Batangas, work from home. Because graphic designer siya. So you don't have to travel, di ba? Importante lang you have the skill sets for that. And right now, fortunate for us, we're an IT company, so all the employees for jobs180.com we're all working from home. Meron kami mga employees before, kahit na hindi pa work from home, yung wala pang pandemic, meron kami employees nakatira sa Pililla. Pililla is in Rizal. Meron kami isa sa Antipolo. Meron kami isa sa Bulacan. We have another person in Santa Rosa. Ayan, so diba, these are very far. So we don't require them to report to office every day. But again, that depends on the requirement of the company. Kung kailangan ka talaga mag-report every day, I think it will be a factor. Kasi you can always say, no problem, sir. I am willing to wake up 5 hours prior to the working time, diba? And make sure I will not be late. But yes, yung mga ganun, di good. Yun nga lang, you might want to consider na relocating. Kasi sayang yung 5 oras na biyahe mo na or 3 oras na biyahe mo. If you can add that to your sleep or to other things that you can do, diba? For recreation. Yun yung sa akin. So I hope na answer ko yung tanong mo, sir.
Okay, sir. Question from Facebook from Mr. Jaime Manguera Bongo. So, is job 180 po ba also provides format for application letter, and thank you po.
Okay. For the application letter, it's more of like a cover letter. So, dun sa portion ng resume link, you can put your cover letter as we call it. So if you're referring to the application letter as a cover letter, then you can type it there. If you're good with writing, you're good with words, then I recommend you put that in that portion. Pwede mo isulat. Yun yung ibig sabihin. So hindi na siya puro picture, Hindi siya, baka sabihin niyo parang Instagram to, puro picture lang. So you can also put it there, yung mga writings niya. Okay?
Okay. So thank you, Sir Kim. And guys, thank you in behalf of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office. Can you type, guys, 2 kanina, 1? So can you type 2 if you don't have question na kay Sir Kim? So Sir Kim, we'll see you again next time. So mukhang dumadami. Mukhang wala na, sir, silang tanong.
Last question.
At ka na lang mabuti. Okay. So guys, can you give a virtual clap to Sir Kim as we end this session?
Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Sir Kim. And I'll see you again next next career development webinar. Guys, we'll be back later. Meron pa kaming afternoon session para sa ating career development webinar. So let me remind everyone that the evaluation form is posted at the comment section of the FB page, PUP Career Center, well as it was posted na sa Zoom chat box. Okay, you can do your evaluation to receive your digital certificate 2 to 3 weeks after the conduct of this webinar. Okay, guys, in behalf of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office, I'm Professor Jane S. Pulma signing off. Arigato gozaimashita. Thank you very much, guys, and let me share my screen for our PUP hymn.
ang taglay, PUP aming gabay, aralang dakila. PUP
Ayoko kasi nga, simula ngayon magkakaroon tayo ng mga bagong guest host bawat episode.
Wow, iba-iba pala to, no?
Yes, oo.
Ngayon, i-welcome na natin yung schoolmate natin guest host natin ngayon.
Oh, gusto ko siya makilala.
Welcome natin si schoolmate Mariel! Ang ginagawa mo
Siya
dyan?
galing!
Ang ginagawa mo
Hello!
Hi schoolmates! Ako nga pala si Mariel from College of Communication, ang guest host ngayong episode.
Wow! So, kumusta ka naman?
Okay naman, syempre masaya ako nakasama ko kayo.
Oo nga kami rin guys, kasi matagal-tagal rin tayo, di ba? Nagkaroon ng break. So, guys, we miss you so much.
Tama, oo. Alam niyo mga schoolmates, kahit nawala kami, babalik at babalik pa rin kami para sa inyo, para magbigay ng impormasyon at entertainment, di ba? Siyempre.
O taray, servisyo totoo talaga.
Oo naman, kasi nga sabi nila, there's always a rainbow after the rain. Parang ngayon lang, di ba?
Speaking of rainbow,
ay! Wow! Uy! Ang galing
may
naman yun!
celebrate daw tayo ngayong September.
Ano yun?
Gusto mong malaman?
Oo.
Ano rin natin?
Ang galing nito
Sa puntaon na matapos masungkit ng PUP ang record na largest human rainbow sa Guinness Book of World Records, ngunit wala pa rin nakakapantay dito. At simula noon ay matagumpay nating naipakita sa buong mundo ang tatag at tibay ng ating sintapahalan. At yan ang ating tatalakayin ngayon sa episode ng Ang Hit featuring The Human Rainbow.
Bawat kulay ng human rainbow ay tumakatawan para sa iba't ibang galing ng mga estudyante sa Pilipino. Parang unity. Kasi hindi naman bubuo yun. Walang unity ng bawat isa.
Parang pinapakita pa rin ng PUPians na
nagkakaisa tayo sa isang symbolism na which is the rainbow.
Magkakaisa ng mga tao. Sa isang pambihirang pagkakataon, nagsama-sama noong September 18, 2004 sa Quirino Branch at may higit 30,000 estudyante, guro, empleyado at alumno ng PUP upang buuin ang pinakamalaking human rainbow sa kasaysayan. Suot ang mga t-shirt at sombrerong nagbigay ng kulay sa human rainbow, nagsama-sama ang buong PUP community upang basagin ang titulong dating hawak ng Malta Archipelago na nilahukan ng 1,750 katao noong 2003. Ito ay bahagi ng pagdiriwang ng ikasandaang anibersaryo ng PUP na may temang PUP, kabalikat ng pamahalaan sa pag-angat ng antas ng kabuhayan ng mamamayan. Ang Human Rainbow ay naglalayong baguhin ang imahe ng PUP at tulungang may parating sa gobyerno ang mga problema ng ating bansa sa pamamagitan ng pagsasama-sama at pagkakaisa tulad ng mga kulay sa rainbow. 10 years na pala, no?
Isang dekada na.
Sabihin na 10 years na di pa na tayo nasa Guinness Book of World Records, diba?
Iba talaga pag PUP.
Oo, kasi pag PUP yan, magaling. Isang patunay niyan. No CPA licensure exam noong July. Kasama ang PUP sa top 10.
Meron na naman.
Yes. Diba, after mo nagkaroon ng pagkakasunod. Kaya top 7 tsaka top 9. Diba? Sobrang galing.
Pero alam niyo ba kung paano na na-achieve yan?
Oo nga.
Paano?
Paano di ba na-achieve?
Grabe, hindi naman ako nagtawa.
Panoorin natin siya sa PUP yan!
Ako si Ken Lester Gillen, graduate ng BS Accountancy sa PUP Manila, batch May 2013. Katulad din ng mga iba, nag-solve, nag-practice, nagbasa. Ganun lang naman yun eh. Alam ko lang na mataas yung scores ko doon sa board exam na yun. Kasi mararamdaman mo ng pag-exam, kilala mo naman yung sarili mo, ikaw na nakakakilala nun. Pero yung kung magtatap ako, hindi ako sigurado, hindi ko yun sure. Kasi syempre, di ba, madami kayo eh, hindi mo kilala kung sino yung mga kasabay mo eh. Mas maganda pala yung bago mag-board exam, makapagkwentuhan ka muna. Kasi pag mag-isa ka lang, makakaisip ka ng kung ano ng bagay. Mag-enjoy ka lang, parang. Tapos parang magkaroon ka kasi ng ng advocacy sa buhay mo. Ano bang gusto mong gawin? Ano bang pangarap mo? Nagpapasalamat talaga ako sa PUP. Dahil yung PUP, prepare niya ako, kami, hindi lang para sa board exam, kundi para sa totoong buhay. Yung mga hirap ng exams, yung mga hirap ng mga pinapagawa ng prof, nakatulong yun sa amin bilang tao, hindi lang para sa board exam. Siyempre, pangalawa, yung pamilya ko. Nandyan sila, sinusuportahan nila ako. Siyempre, yung gastos, di ba, kailangan yun eh. Tapos, pangatlo, mga kaibigan. Siyempre, sipa mo mga kasama, yung mga kabatch mo, kaibigan. Kayo lang naman magtutulungan hanggang sa huli eh. Ako si Ken Lester Guillen, isang PUP-yan.
Tingnan mo si Kesa, ano kayong ginagawa? Kesa! Kesa!
Huwag kayo magulo, nag-review ka para sa licensure exam ko.
Licensure exam? Eh, wala naman licensure exam yung course mo.
Ano?
Walang licensure exam yung course mo.
Paano maka-inspire sa PUP kung wala akong exam? Gusto ko mag-top din.
Ano pa naman, hindi lang naman yun yung way para maka-inspire ka ng schoolmates natin.
Oo, paano pa?
Dapat nga thankful ka, hindi mo na kailangan magsunod ng hilay.
Dapat thankful ka, di ba? Kasi walang licensure exam sa course mo.
Oo nga.
Pero alam mo yung thankful talaga ako. Speaking of thankful, kinakalit ko din, kakalabanin kita, alam mo yan. Ngayong September, atin sineselebrate ang World Gratitude Day. Kaya nga naman, sa kasabi, ang tanong ko sa mga schoolmates natin, ano ba ang pinagpapasalamat ninyo? Ganun na, ano ba ang pinagpapasalamat?
Ano nga kaya?
Panoorin natin.
Oh, gusto ko malaman eh, tara.
Hi, schoolmates! Naalala niyo pa ba ako? Salamat naman, kilala niyo pa rin ako. Oo nga, ako si Kesa at ito ang... Bigla ang tanong, bigla ang sagot. Walang kakeme-keme. Sabi? Sabi! Schoolmates, salamat talaga kasi naaalala niyo pa yung kasabi, ah. At salamat kasi nandiyan pa rin kayo para support na. At salamat... Teka nga! Bakit mo nakapasalamat? Ay, oo nga pala. Kasi ngayong September ay World Gratitude Month. Kaya palang bait-bait ko pa pasalamat, di ba? Ngayong schoolmates, matanong ko kayo, ano ba ang pinagpapasalamat nyo ngayong World Gratitude Month? Alamin natin dito sa Kasabi. Tara! Ano ang pinagpapasalamat mo?
Isa lang naman yung pinagpapasalamat ko eh.
Ano yun?
Nakapunta ako dito.
Ikaw ate.
Pinakakain ko.
Pinakakain ka lang saan? Nasaan yung nakakain mo ngayon?
Pinagpapasalamat. Yun ang pinagpapasalamat ko.
Ano ba kayo guys?
Kapag ka nagkagayon.
Ay, may jowa ka! Iba! Ang gondo!
Bakit ako?
Nagigising ako araw-araw.
Yung maliit pa rin na tuition sa PUP. Nag-survive sa PUP. For this awesome life.
Oh, awesome life!
Walang tatanong.
Ay, ano, sige, ganun lang.
Wala po. Nakakain po kami. Papasalamat po ako sa mga blessings na binibigay ko sa akin ni Dad.
Yeah, thank you so much. Kanina number one. Ano ba rin? Ako nagpapasalamat mo.
Thank you.
Nalang buhay ako.
Ang isang maninang umaga. Natatamasa ko ngayon yung 12 pesos na tuition.
Tamasa talaga. O, paano magtamasa na 12 pesos? Ayun,
Pinanganak ako.
pinanganak ka. Wow. Ngayong September ay World Gratitude Month. So, anong pinagpapasalamat mo?
Yun nga, nakapag-aral ako. Salamat sa magulang ko. Buhay pa ako.
Oo nga, salamat sa magulang mo. Ang puti na ng uniform mo. Deserve na lang habang mo dance. 1, 2, 3, go! Habang
Tapos na ako sa OJT. Buhay ko?
ang buhay yun.
Bakit ikaw? Anong pinagpapasalamat mo?
Buhay ko? Na hindi umuulan. Ano ang pinagpapasalamat niyo?
What?
What? Alright, so what are you thankful for?
Tagalog na lang. Siyempre ngayon, thankful ako sa birthday ko.
Wow! Yan talaga ba ang Rodrigo? Happy birthday to you! Ay nalagaan, nalaman na natin kung ano ang sagot ng mga students natin sa tanong na ano nga ba ang pinagpapasalamat nila sa buhay nila? Mga sagot nila, ito yung tamang all answers. Una, salamat sila sa family nila. Pangalawa sa friends nila, oo. At pangatlo naman sa buhay nila. At syempre, thankful din sila kasi nga akong nalaman. At importanteng malaman nito ng mga schoolmates natin.
Oo, kasi di ba kapag may bagyo, habag at bomb threat, diba? Paano makakakuha ng information? Paano nga ba?
Ito, panoorin natin ang hashtag PUP!
Alam ko, tinanong ka pero alam ko.
Bagyo, habag at bomb threats at iba pang emergency. Ang daming class suspensions recently, di ba? At sa mga panahon ito, kailangan updated tayo sa latest happenings sa ating sintang paaralan. Pero paano nga ba tayo makakakuha ng tamang impormasyon in case of emergency? Yan ang alamin natin dito sa hashtag PUP.
Number 1, ugaliing i-check ang PUP website o Facebook and Twitter account para sa mga announcement. Sa Facebook, ito ang facebook.com/PUPofficial. At sa Twitter, ito ang @thePUPofficial. Pwede mo rin i-check ang announcement sa official PUP website, ang pup.edu.ph. Number 2, i-text or tawagan ng numbers ng related government agencies. Updated rin ng iba't ibang agencies in times of class suspensions tulad ng National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council at ang local government unit ng location ng campus nyo. Number 3, magtanong sa mga school personnel o faculty. Kung nasa PUP ka lang naman at wala kang ibang maaaring source ng information, pwede kang magtanong sa mga administrative offices tulad ng chairpersons and dean's offices at sa communication management office. Number 4, i-check ang social media accounts ng PUP Create TV. Ang PUP Create TV, YouTube channel man, Facebook page o Twitter account ay kailan may hindi bibiguin ang mga schoolmates sa paghahatid ng mga tamang impormasyon.
Ngayon, alam na natin kung saan tayo dapat kumuha ng mga updates, information, at announcements. Kaya mga schoolmates, huwag basta-basta maniniwala sa mga chismis, ha? Ako si Jello at ito ang hashtag PUP.
Yan, now we know, hindi na tayo maguguluhan.
Oo nga, hindi na magugulo ngayon, di ba? Hindi naman.
At alam nyo, tayo dito sa PUP Create TV, ang unang magbibigay sa mga schoolmates natin ng mga tamang impormasyon.
Tama mo yun.
Siyempre mga schoolmates, kung gusto nyo pang mapanood ang mga past episodes namin, ilike nyo lang ang official Facebook fan page ng PUP Create TV. Yan ang facebook.com/PUP Create TV.
At i-follow nyo kami sa Twitter at PUP TV Official.
At sa Instagram
at PUP Create TV.
At ang aming YouTube account po, that's youtube.com/PUP Create TV.
At ito nga ang inyong online